številka 25 iz Danske prihaja Peter Kileman. Predstavlja Avstralijo, tu je Chris Kohler. Številka 71, Maciej Janowski, Polska. In tu je Dajmo Krško, številka 55, Matej Žagar, Slovenija. Štartna številka 69 iz Avstralije, Jason Doyle. Nils Christian Iversen, Danska. Številko 3 nosi trikratni svetovni prvak iz Danske, Miki Pedersen. Prav tako trikratni prvak iz Združenih držav, številka 45, Greg Hancock. In tu je aktualni svetovni prvak iz Velike Britanije, številka 108, Ty Wolfenden. Takole Krško, fantje odhajajo v bokse in že čez nekaj minut na vrsti prva današnja vožnja 11. velike.
Hello, Steve. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Here we go. First race will be coming up very soon here in Kursko, the Mattia Gupta Stadium.
Zagar coming out in Heat 1, going off the outside, the home favourite. He's a track record holder, and he'll be looking for a big night in front of his home crowd.
Sell it then.
top.
Britain's Ty Woffinden stood on top of the podium in Melbourne, Australia and collected his second World Championship gold medal of his career after winning the title 3 weeks earlier in Torun, Poland. Joining him on the rostrum would be 2014 and defending champion Greg Hancock in second and Denmark's Nicky Pedersen in third. Both riders had fought hard in their pursuit of the Brit throughout the year, but Woffinden, who took the lead of the series in round 2, never let slip his grip on the top spot, and with 8 finals and 2 GP wins under his belt, the popular Englishman rode all year in dominant form to clinch the world title. Many familiar faces from the 2015 Championship return to the series this year, and joining them and making their first full season debuts will be 2 young Polish stars in Bartosz Szmajlik and Piotr Pawlicki. Also returning after an absence of 2 years is Sweden's riding sensation Antonio Lindback. So with the new season upon us, who from the class of 2016 will take the challenge to the current champion? "11 rounds make up the championship in 2016, which starts in the Kruško, Slovenia. The series then races all over Europe, which includes a new venue in Tetro in Germany, before ending the year down under in Melbourne, Australia. Last year here in Kruško, Greg Hancock took the victory and 20 valuable points on the night. The likeable American knows that if he's to challenge for his 4th world title, a good start to his 2016 campaign will be needed tonight.
Hi there, good evening and a very warm welcome here to Slovenia, the first round of the 2016 World Championship from the Stadion Mati Gubka Stadium here in Slovenia. It's not that long ago since we were last here, last September, for the 2015 Championship towards the latter end, but here we are right at the start in 2016. Kelvin Tatum alongside me once again, really looking forward to this. It's been a long old winter, but we are really looking forward to this meeting. A great way to start the series here in Slovenia, Kel.
We certainly are, and there were some serious concerns about the weather just 48 hours ago when there were 40 centimetres of snow on the ground. We've had 2 fabulous days subsequently, and we're set fair. The track conditions look absolutely ideal. Home favourite there on camera, he'll be coming out in heat number 1 off gate 4. Mati Zajgal will be looking to get off to a flying start in this year's Grand Prix series. Great expectation all around the stadium, and I'm sure we're going to be in for quite a thrilling night of speedway.
Yep, very much so. Of course, there is a change to the original lineup with no Jarek Hampel tonight. Freddie Lindgren is the man who comes in for him, but the riders pushed off, heading to the track for the first heat of the 2016 season. Nervous moments for these riders then, with Piotr Pawlicki, the rider in the red helmet colour. His first full campaign as a Grand Prix rider. Piotr Pawlicki, a very exciting young Polish rider. Here in yellow we see the home favourite Mati Zajgal, who has won Grand Prix in his career. He's got 3 SGP wins under his belt. How he would dearly love to win on home shale here tonight. And Chris Harris, a qualifier again. He somehow keeps coming back for more, Kel.
Yeah, remarkable Chris Harris. He did it in fine style in Rybnik in the Grand Prix Challenge to secure his place in the Grand Prix Series this year. Focusing then just briefly on Mati Zajgal. They're doing 1 or 2 practice starts. just getting a feel for conditions, allowing the bikes to settle down. Pawlicki on the inside, he's a young, hard-charging Polish rider that will be very exciting to watch. Really looking forward to this opening race.
Heat number 1 coming up then as the riders make their final preparations with a 2-minute countdown on. First race of the 2016 FIM Speedway Grand Prix season. Piotr Pawlicki off the inside, Jason Doyle off 2, Chris Harris off 3, Matej Zegar off the outside. A big year for Pawlicki off the inside gate. His debut full Grand Prix campaign. Only a couple of GP appearances under his belt. And the man off the outside, Matej Zegar, the home hero. Kelvin Tatum alongside me, Nigel Pearson, here in the Mate Gupta Stadium. What a way to start with the home hero off the outside gate, Kel.
Absolutely, Zegar is a hero in this part of the world. Gate 4 is no easy challenge, I've got to say. It's a long way from the outside, it's a big, fast track, 387 metres of flat-out action. They settle down, heat number 1 about to get underway.
Nervous moments at the start of a brand new campaign here. And the referee is not happy with something. He wants to ensure that the riders are correctly spaced apart. Not quite sure what he's doing here. It's a brand new referee we've got tonight, by the way, making his debut in the Grand Prix. Artur Kuszmaras from Poland. He's actually talking about the spaces between riders.
I'm slightly confused.
Pretty sure it was the starting marshal's job to do that.
It is indeed. I'm not really sure what they're indicating for him to do. He's a little confused. Riders now beginning to line up once again. They settle down. The green light will appear any moment now. Here we go.
Second time around again. They're away this time, and Pawlicki's made a beauty off the inside gate. Now Chris Harris holds the inside for second. Charging round is Zegar, but he's going to be just having to settle the third ahead of Jason Doyle. Piotr Pawlicki now with Chris Harris right on the inside, and here comes Zegar. Matej Zegar swoops around the outside, but it's very tight going into lap 2. Pawlicki riding beautifully here. Harris just holds on for second right now.
Indeed he does. The inside gate is working a treat for the young Pole. He dropped the clutch, bang on. The bike powered himself to the first corner. Zegar trying the outside run, but it's an awful long way there, and he relegates himself to the back, with Doyle now sneaking up into third place. Harris is riding strongly in second. He's keeping Pawlicki right up to his work, but this is a superb start for Piotr Pawlicki. Debut ride in the Grand Prix Series. Special ride for him.
Certainly is a special rider. He has got a brother, Przemek Pawlicki, as well. As Zegar tries to move up the inside in turns 3 and 4.
Oh.
Can he take Doyle out towards the fence down the back straight? Has to get off the gas. This is for a point. But Piotr Pawlicki in his debut full Grand Prix campaign is going out with a victory. 3 big points for the youngster from Leszno in Poland. Sporting the same colours, very similar to the old colours of the legendary Lee Adams, a Grand Prix legend and a Leszno legend in Poland. And the brilliant youngster opens up with 3 big points there.
Yeah.
Chris Harris working hard for second spot in a real battle for third as well. Won by Doyle, so there's the result. Pawlicki the winner with Chris Harris second and Jason Doyle was third. Matej Zegar trailing in at the back. Disappointment for the home favourite, the Slovenian star, who went off gate 4. But Pawlicki off the inside made an absolute beauty.
Fabulous ride from Pawlicki. He would have been nervous there for sure. Settled down beautifully out in front. Did not put a wheel wrong. Really was under pressure earlier on. We watch it again. Up the tapes go. They come charging. He snakes actually quite violently to get to the first corner, but Doyle didn't make a good start, and that allows Harris to get out of gate 3 and slam the door shut on the Australian. Zegar then round the outside into third, but subsequently he gets relegated to the back again. Pawlicki, even though he snakes a little bit, the bike charges to the first corner. He knows the inside is the fastest way, it's the shortest way in the opening race, and he really does ride with a lot of composure. He'll be delighted with the 3 points. The home favourite, Zegar, working hard, but around the outside in the opening race, he just could not find the extra speed and gets relegated to the back. But Nigel, what a ride that is from a young star from Poland.
Well, they are talented brothers, Przemek and Piotr Pawlicki. They really do have a lovely riding style.
Yeah.
And it is good to see Piotr in the SGP series. There's a couple of young Polish boys Watch out for Bartosz Marslik as well. He's going to be worth watching this year. It's a superb lineup from 1 to 15 of the permanent members of the Grand Prix Series. And coming up in the next race, we've got the reigning world champion from Great Britain, Ty Woofenden, twice world champion in the last 3 years. The man we're seeing here is Andreas Jonsson of Sweden, but Woofenden is off gate 4 in yellow, and a big moment for him.
Absolutely, and we saw in the opening race how hard it was for Zagar to try and make an impact coming from the outside. The stats would suggest that it is actually very difficult to make starts from the outside at this track. The inside gate's proving to be an advantage. So the world champion will have to find something a little bit special in his opening ride. Andreas Jonsson coming off gate 3 is also in fine form. Interesting lineup.
Yep, here we go with heat number 2. Maciej Janowski, another one of the talented young Poles, goes off the inside in red. Denis Stoy is the Slovenian wild card off gate 2. Gate 3 is Andreas Jonsson in the white helmet, has done a lot of racing in the UK so far this year. And Ty Woofenden, the reigning champion, it's a long way to that first turn. He's off gate number 4. Here we go, heat number 2, here in Slovenia. And it's a good start from the man off the inside, as you would expect, a super start from Maciej Janowski. But watch out for Woofenden down the back straight, wheel to wheel. We've got a heck of a race on early on here. Janowski's going to go wide. Woofenden holds the line and keeps it wound on. But Janowski closes the door. Going into lap 2. Woofenden is going to chase hard. Jonsson is third right now. Janowski looking good, but he knows he's got Woofenden right up his exhaust pipe.
Fabulous opening lap of Speedway. Janowski having to slam the door shut. Woofenden now chopping back to the inside. The world champion's coming on. Awfully strong in second place. Andreas Jonsson now. Woofenden's made a mistake. Run too wide. Recovers just about. Hanging on to second place. Janowski was under so much pressure on the opening lap and a half there. Remained composed, but Woofenden with a lap to go. He's not done yet.
Super ride for Maciej Janowski because Woofenden was all over him, but the brilliant pole just managed to shut him out. But it looks as though he's just got the speed, got enough pace here, and that was a real battle early on. And Maciej Janowski takes the checkered flag ahead of Woofenden. Jonsson was third, and Denis Stoy, the wild card at the back. But that was a fine ride because Janowski had Woofenden absolutely all over him there. And I thought he just made that mistake as he went wide, Woofenden. That allowed Jonsson through for a challenge as well.
It did indeed, and that was an indication of the sort of action we're going to experience here this evening. Once again, the inside gate is proving to be an advantage with both the Polish riders taking full advantage. But got to say, Woofenden was really pushing hard in second place.
Certainly was. The result then confirmation. Maciej Janowski the winner, Ty Woofenden second, Andreas Jonsson was third, Denis Stoy at the back there. So the race winners so far in this 2016 Slovenia FIM Speedway Grand Prix, Piotr Pawlicki and Maciej Janowski, 2 Polish riders, take the first 2 heats here in Slovenia, Kel.
Indeed they do. The inside gate is working well and they take full advantage. Smashing start from Woofenden, the world champion, from the outside. Andreas Jonsson missed it completely. In actual fact, gets tied up with the wild card there, Denis Stoy, who they get all sorts of problems in the first corner. Look at this effort here. Once again, superb action on the opening lap and a half with Woofenden carrying lots of speed but just not able to find a way through. He works the outside, then chops back to the inside. It got awfully close indeed here. Very nearly sneaked up the inside of Janowski there, but once again the young Polish rider showing terrific composure to hang on out in front. Great start for the Poles, unbeaten so far from the first 2 rides.
Yeah, Janowski won the Elite League in the UK last year with the Pool Pirates. Woofenden with a smile on his face. He's not done a lot of laps so far. Woofenden, he rode in Darcy Ward's Benefit in Torun, at Benefit meeting last month, and then also rode in his first Polish League match last weekend. Even the boys that have been based riding in the UK have been affected by snow, hail, sleet. Thankfully tonight here in Slovenia we've got sunshine. It's been a very pleasant, mild day, and we're up to heat number 3 of the opening round of the season. We move on to Warsaw in Poland, Stadion Narodowe in a couple of weeks' time as well. Here's the lineup for Heat 3. What a lineup as well. 3 Danes, Nicky Pedersen, 3-time world champion, Grand Prix legend off the inside, Peter Killerman off 2, Niels Christian Iversen going off gate 3. I know some who fancy Niels for a victory tonight here. And going off the outside, Bartosz Marslik, the brilliant young Pole, always good to watch. We're talking about 4 box office riders here. Indeed we are, and Smarslik, you must remember, has already won a Grand Prix at his home track in Gorzów. This is the first time he rides in a Grand Prix outside Poland. It'll be interesting
to see how it gets on, but no question, he's a very talented young rider. But the 3 days on the inside, here we go.
They stayed down quite a while there, but Nicky Pedersen has made the jump from the inside gate, and it's all very tight in that first turn. Pedersen has the lead now. Has he got the speed down the back straight to Smarslik? Comes up the inside! What a move from the brilliant young Pole! He just nipped up the inside of Pedersen as he spotted the opportunity, and there's a battle for third and fourth between Iversen and Peter Killerman as well. But it's Bartosz Smarslik who is tonight riding in only his 6th Grand Prix of his career. What a young talent he is, Smarslik. 6th Grand Prix, he's already been in 3 finals, and here he has the lead.
Yeah, he has a great record already. What a move that was to get the speed down the back straight on the opening lap. Dived up the inside of the 3-time world champion. Pedersen isn't done though. He's charging hard. There was a terrific scrap between Kilderman and Iversen, banging handlebars as they completed the opening lap. Smarslik out in front, looking to make it 3 wins for the Poles and 3 consecutive heats. Fabulous speedway once again. Smarslik looking good in front.
Well, we did say before the meeting, Calvin, we were looking forward to seeing the young Polish debutants. By debutants, I mean a first full Grand Prix campaign. And Bartosz Smarslik, that, it has to be said, is a wonderful, wonderful win from gate number 4. But what a move it was to pick the pocket of Pedersen down the back straight with a lovely move. He's only a young man, but great talent, great speedway from Bartosz Smarslik in the yellow helmet colour.
Fabulous ride. Really was an opportunist move down the back straight to get that extra speed, to just steam underneath Nicky Pedersen. Really forceful move in the first corner, then backed up with a great move into turns 3. What a ride from the young Polish rider, and the Poles have started like a house on fire.
They have indeed. Smarslik the winner with Pedersen off 2. Peter Killerman got the points after a real battle there with fellow Dane Niels Christian Iversen. But Bartosz Smarslik joins Matt Janowski and Piotr Pawlicki as race winners in the opening 3 heats of this Grand Prix here in Slovenia. Smarslik from Gorzów, and we will have a Grand Prix in Gorzów later this year. Looking forward to that in the Edward Jansac Stadium, named after the former Wimbledon Dons rider.
Here we see it again, and Pedersen makes the start. Once again, the inside gate has proved to be an advantage in the early heats. Really tight as they enter the first corner, but watch Smarslik now. He's in the middle of the track. He's able to square the corner off. He's got his wheels just momentarily a little bit earlier in line than Nicky Pedersen, and takes him by surprise as he dives up the inside. Terrific scrap between Killerman and Niels Christian Iversen as they come through to complete the opening lap. Look at that, banging each other as they go over the start and finish line. But that young man there, what a ride that was. That was a terrifically strong lineup for heat number 3 rather, and he took full advantage.
Well, we may have some new viewers in the UK watching the Speedway tonight, and just to mention that the British Grand Prix is on July the 9th at Cardiff at the Millennium Stadium, or the Principality Stadium as it's now called.
Indeed it is.
If you've never been before to Cardiff, get yourself there. It's a great weekend of Speedway, the Grand Prix, and the World Cup is in the UK as well at the new National Speedway Stadium in Manchester. And that is on the 29th and the 30th of July. So a big summer of Speedway to look forward to at World Championship level. Lindback off the inside, Holder on 2, Lindgren off 3, Hancock going off the outside gate in the yellow helmet colour. Greg Hancock, one of many Grand Prix legends in this series, it has to be said. Wonderful, wonderful rider. Here, the man in white is Freddie Lindgren, who's an injury replacement tonight for Jarek Hampel. But Greg Hancock off the outside gate, 3 times world champion in his 192nd Grand Prix. He's ridden every year since the inception of the series in 1995.
But he's only missed 1 Grand Prix in the whole time he's been involved since 1995. It is quite a remarkable career he's had.
Here we go into that first turn. Holder's made a beauty off gate number 2. That's a fine ride from the 2012 world champion Chris Holder. Antonio Lindback is going to block the challenge from Hancock. He almost took his front wheel from him there. Going into turns 3 and 4. Lindgren now is taking Hancock wide. But what about this from Chris Holder in the blue helmet? 2012 world champion from Australia has that lead. Hancock now charges up the inside towards the back, challenging for third, wheel to wheel down the back straight. Every point matters.
Absolutely, fighting for their lives on the opening lap between Greg Hancock and Freddie Lindgren. Chris Holder's out in front, but look at Antonio Lindback. He is coming on strong, awfully strong in second place. Holder, who made a fabulous start from gate 2, is looking strong in front, really putting it on the line. A rejuvenated Chris Holder this year, certainly has put the hard yards in through the winter to get himself in shape. Good ride from the Australian.
Well, he is looking good here, Chris Holder. He looks lean and mean. He's been working hard in the gym in the build-up to the new season, riding quite beautifully here in the blue helmet colour. That will settle the nerves for Chris Holder. Wonderful start for him. Chris Holder, the race winner then, with Antonio Lindback battling away in second there, and Greg Hancock coming through for third ahead of Fredrik Lindgren. Holder, who rides in Poland as well for Torrent. He rides for Poole Pirates, the reigning Elite League champions in the UK, so he'll be in Poland tomorrow, and he'll be back at Wolverhampton on Monday for Wolverhampton against Poole. So it's a busy few days for Chris Holder. These boys like it when their diaries are full. Here's the lineup, or the results, I should say, for Heat 4. Chris Holder, the winner. Antonio Lindback second. Greg Hancock third. And Freddie Lindgren at the back. The winners so far in the first round of 4 races here in Kuczko: Janowski, Holder, Swarslik and Pawlicki.
Australia, who won for second place, number 85, Antonio.
Super ride from Chris Holder there. What a start he made from gate 2. Really does rip away from the starts. Gate 1 has proved to be the gate to be on in the first 3 races, but Antonio Lindback doesn't get away quite as well as he would have liked. Holder takes full advantage of that. What a battle it was for third place between Greg Hancock and Freddie Lindgren. They really did battle very hard indeed on the opening couple of laps. But Chris Holder, who's had a really hard time in the last few years, injuries certainly have held him back. His confidence has suffered as a result. But by crikey, that is a confidence-boosting race if you've ever seen one. Out in front, pushing hard, Antonio Lindback in second place. But a superb start to tonight's meeting for the Australian, the former world champion.
Yeah, great start from Chris Holder. He'll be delighted with that. It was affected quite badly by the injury to his big pal, almost his brother, Darcy Ward, last year. Darcy may well be watching this back in Australia. We're thinking of you, mate. Still hope you're enjoying watching the action with us. Now, what about Piotr Pawlicki? A dream start to his full-time Grand Prix career, and he is with Steve Brandon.
Super opening ride though from Pawlicki. He may not have felt that he had enough speed, but he looked very impressive out in front. Didn't make any mistakes at all, and an ideal start to his Grand Prix campaign. 3 points in the bank, as all the Poles have in actual fact from their opening rides. Good solid performances in the opening 4 races, an indication of what is to come. Just a momentary pause while we wait for the track to be graded, and heat number 5 coming up very shortly.
Well, let's hear what Chris Holder has to say about his victory in his opening ride. He's with Steve Brandon now.
Yeah, made quite a good start off too, and then there wasn't a lot of action out there. You know, the track's quite tricky. There's a lot of dirt on it, but it's tough to get, a good line going. But yeah, I just tried to stay on the inside, and I could hear him. I think I could close, but as long as I don't go off the inside, it's be right, and very close. Feel you got the right set? Never do. I feel alright, but just, I was good in some class, but never really bad in some, so not really one of the things, and always important that you feel like you have a game in Barcelona, you do things not.
Yeah,
Playing himself down almost there. It was
well, yeah, I think
ride.
the track's a little bit patchy, Nigel, and I think that one time the bike will be pulling hard and then maybe you just spin up a little bit, so it's just smoothing the power band out a little bit to get a more consistent ride. Interesting heat number 5 coming up with 2 of the Polish boys going head-to-head in gates 2 and 3. Pawlicki and Janowski going head-to-head. Could be quite an interesting race. And the lineup this year, looking at it, the 15 riders, permanent riders, it really is a touch stronger than in recent years, I would suggest. And when you look at the form in the early races of the 2 youngsters coming in from Poland, I think we're going to be in for quite a treat this year.
There's no weak link, is there, Kelvin? There will be as the season progresses, but generally, there's no weak link in this lineup.
No, there is not, and you really are going to have to be on top of your game. If you show any weakness at all, I think it will be exploited. And that's what World Championship Speedway is about. You know, it's the toughest competition in the world. And this year, I think we've got a terrific lineup. And no doubt we'll see some superb action.
Yep. Well, heat number 5 is coming up shortly. What about the reigning champ, Ty Wolfenden? How's he feeling with Steve Brandon?
Vse skupaj se v tej seriji v prestolnico Švedske, torej Stockholm, in nadaljuje kot zadnja dirka evropskega dela letošnje Grand Prix serije, ponovno 1. oktober je tale datum. Podobno kot v lanski sezoni tudi letos se je vse skupaj seli v nam zelo oddaljeno Avstralijo, in sicer 11. dirka, tako kot lani na Etihad stadionu v Melbourneu, datum pa je 22. oktober.
Yeah, he is happy. He should be, because I think fundamentally he knows he has speed in the bike. He really did push very hard indeed. He experimented a little bit and very nearly lost second place and then was able to recover. But I sense that underneath that he'll be pretty relieved. You know, Wolfenden hasn't done that much racing. In fact, he's only really done one official fixture so far this year. So probably a little bit undercooked coming in tonight. But that ride demonstrated to me that inherently he has speed, so he'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, looked very quick, didn't he? Closed the gap. Gate 4 can be difficult. Of course, we have seen Bartosz Marslik win from the outside gate. And
we have indeed, and he bucked the trend there, didn't he? He came from the outside when the inside gate was working so well and took him by surprise, I think. Certainly Nicky Pedersen wasn't expecting him to come so fast down the inside, but Marslik didn't worry about reputations, did he? He just charged to the front and rode beautifully out in front. A gorgeous part of the world, I must say. It's picture postcard land. 48 hours ago, of course, we had 40 centimetres of snow. Subsequently, we've had sunshine, and it's been a gorgeous couple of days.
yeah, very pleased to be here. It might just be a little bit chilly as the night progresses. The sun has gone down now, but
yeah,
early stages of the World Championship. And now every rider's had one ride. Those pre-meeting nerves will probably have gone.
Yeah, the season's underway, isn't it now? And the first ride out of the way, and you know, can now really get down to business. Riders just preparing themselves for heat number 5. Janowski, a heat winner, of course, in his opening ride, coming out against his compatriot here in the heat number 5. Pawlicki also winning his opening ride from the inside, so 2 poles going head-to-head. Iversen will want to bounce back from a disappointing opening ride from him. He found it difficult from the outside, didn't get a break in the first corner, and then found it very difficult to get the better of Kilderman. But the river and the surrounding areas here, there are vineyards up on the hill that surround this part of the world. And
Been there?
Been there, yeah, it's beautiful.
Not today, I hope.
No, not today. No, not today.
Ultimate professional.
Absolutely, yeah, always. It's a gorgeous spot, and I highly recommend a visit.
Well, we're preparing for heat number 5. Just seems a bit of a longer pause in between the groups of races than normal here. I think they're just putting a little bit more water down. I know they're very keen, the FIM these days, to try and control the dust element of the track and try and make the spectator experience as much comfort as possible.
Yeah, it's no easy task keeping the track in tip-top condition. You know, it's a fine line between having enough water on and too much. I know riders are always fearful of too much water going on because it can really change conditions quite drastically. Riders now being pushed off for heat number 5. The 3-time former world champion Greg Hancock now coming out for his second ride, looking for his first win of the night.
Greg Hancock, the man in red we've just seen there, just a point to his name after his opening ride, and the battle in the middle 2 gates of the talented young Poles, Pawlicki and Janowski. And Niels Christian Iversen off the outside here. Now he got a last place in his opening ride.
Yeah.
He'll have to get in the points here quickly.
Well, that's when your draw can go for you and against you. You know, he started with the outside gates in his opening 2 races. Had a tough opening race, of course, coming from gate 3. And this time from gate 4, with race and heat winners on the middle 2 gates, full of confidence. He will have to dig deep here, otherwise he will be up against it to make the semi-finals if he fails to score again. But time and time again we've seen Iversen show great character and when he really needs it, he can dig deep and find a big result.
So riders come up to tapes for heat number 5. Race winners so far, Pawlicki, Janowski. 2 of them go head-to-head here off the middle 2 gates. Here we go, heat 5. Here is your lineup then. Greg Hancock off the inside in red. 3rd place, first time out. The 2 race winners, Piotr Pawlicki off 2 and Mads Janowski off gate 3. Niels Christian Iversen failed to score in his opening ride, but off the outside gate, it's a long way to that first turn, particularly with the 2 youngsters on the inside 2 gates of him, and then the old man of the show, Greg Hancock, off the inside gate in red.
Yeah, he is a remarkable character. Won't be too much longer before he's 46 years of age and still riding at the top of his game, producing performances that just defy that. Still rides like a teenager, still has all the enthusiasm he had more than 20 years ago. Iversen on the outside, fails to score first time out. Can he get amongst the points this time?
Here we go, heat number 5, and Hancock's made a beauty off gate number 1. That's trademark Hancock, all right. Has the advantage now with Pawlicki in 2nd. Iversen has come through in the 3rd place, and Mads Janowski is at the back. But look at Hancock. He won here last year, won this Grand Prix in September, and now off the inside gate, when he's got a better position, he was jet propelled, and that is how he has modelled his entire career. One of the best starters consistently over the last 25, 26 years.
Plenty of speed out in front as well. Textbook start from the inside from the American. Flew away from the tape and he's flying out in front. Pawlicki now one coming under a lot of pressure from Iversen, who just about got the better of Janowski in the first corner. Pawlicki's under pressure. Half a mistake from the young Polish boy, and Iversen is ready to pounce. Hancock's got it in the back. He's cleared off out in front. The action is for 2nd and 3rd. A lap to go. Iversen trying awfully hard, chopping back to the inside. It's neck and neck as they go round turns 1 and 2 on the last lap. Pawlicki should hang on.
Yep, the lead is with Greg Hancock. He has won it comfortably, but watch out for 3rd place here. Janowski's having a go on Iversen down to the line.
Oh!
That was close in the end.
Very deep.
That was close in the end. Janowski may have just nicked it. Who knows? We'll have to see a replay of that. But what about Greg Hancock?
Magical.
Started his professional career in 1989 with Cradley Heath, and what a career he has had. And he absolutely carved up that race. No wonder he's celebrating. That's more like it, Greg.
Absolutely. He had to work awfully hard just for a solitary point in the opening race, but he won that race very comfortably indeed. Keep your eyes on Janowski. Coming round the outside, the charge to the checkered flag. Has he got there? Crikey, they're hard to split. That's almost like a dead heat for 3rd place. Very, very close indeed for 3rd. Could be really very important indeed. Hancock there, don't quite know what's going on there. Some discussion between an official and the winner of the last race.
The referee wants to see a final angle of this.
I can understand it, Nigel. That was awfully close for 3rd place. Again, keep your eyes on Janowski. Iversen thinks he's got 3rd place. As they come off there, just loses momentum, relaxed on the bike when... Wow. Can you split that? No. I can't. I think that's a dead heat.
It's not the perfect angle, flush to the start line either, is it?
Nope. But what a ride from Hancock. So much speed, a fabulous start, textbook start, and didn't put a wheel wrong, and showed great speed out in front. An encouraging ride for him.
Iversen's got it. Iversen has got 3rd place, just ahead of Janowski.
Awfully close.
That is the verdict of the referee. Greg Hancock the winner. Piotr Pawlicki was 2nd then. 3rd place, Niels Christian Iversen, just about ahead of Mads Janowski. So that was a big point for Iversen. You never know. When you qualify for the semi-finals, generally in Grand Prix Speedway, from 5 rides, you have to be looking at around 8 points to give you a chance. Sometimes, if results are strange and unpredictable, you can qualify by the skin of your teeth on 7. But by 8, it gives you a good chance of getting into those semi-finals. So
yeah, a valuable point, Nigel.
Vital.
Absolutely right, and he'll be pleased with that, but he won't be pleased with 1 point from 2 rides. He'll be looking for an awful lot more from that. I'm sure they'll be doing some soul-searching in the pits now, trying to find the right setup.
Now we have 2 world champions head-to-head off the inside 2 gates here. Chris Holder, 2012 world champion. Nicky Pedersen, 3 times world champion, off gate 2 in blue. Jason Doyle, gate 3 white, world number 5 in his debut Grand Prix campaign last year. Great achievement. And Andreas Jonsson, who has been in great form for the Lakeside Hammers in the UK so far. Off the outside in yellow. Swedish League and Polish League not really got started yet.
Yep.
Probably get underway in earnest now with Poland tomorrow and Sweden on Tuesday. But the UK have been going since late March. Jonsson has done more meetings than any of the others here in heat number 6 alongside Holder. Here's the gates, positions and lineup there. And here we go. Heat number 6 it is. He's going to hit that first turn. It's between Pedersen and Holder, and Pedersen gets the drop. Nicky Pedersen is there. Will Holder take him out wide? Pedersen's got the drive down that back straight. What a superb move from the Dane, Nicky Pedersen. And now coming through in the yellow helmet colour is Andreas Jonsson to get the better of Jason Doyle. All 4 bunched up nicely here. Holder's going to try the outside run, but that allows Jonsson the opportunity to come back at him. But Holder's got speed, and Holder's going to pick up a challenge on Pedersen now.
Indeed he is. It was a super start from Nicky Pedersen out of gate 2 to get the better of Holder. Andreas Jonsson, an opportunity move there through turns 3 and 4 to get the better of Jason Doyle. Just left the door open and the Swede dived in. Pedersen knows an awfully hard man to pass once he hits the front. Hasn't quite got the speed of Holder in second place, but he's in front. He controls the race. And left to go for the 3-time former world champion. Looking good there. Holder once again pushing hard in second place, looking for a way through. Jonsson's got 3rd place. Has Holder got anything to say about it in the last corner?
Pedersen holds the inside line. Holder is going to go out wide and try and get to the line. But it looks as though Pedersen's just held on.
Yes.
Great effort from Chris Holder. Down to the line it went. And that was a great effort with Jonsson 3rd and Jason Doyle trailing in at the back, but Pedersen had to work hard for that kill.
He did indeed. He didn't quite have the same speed that Holder had. His motorbike was just a touch faster. But Nicky Pedersen just hanging on as they charge to the checkered flag. Holder running around the outside. He will see it again. This is the final run. We've seen it already for 3rd place earlier on. Pedersen just hanging on for the win. 3 points to him. Terrific start. Holder started well, 5 points from 2 rides for the Australian. He'll be chuffed to bits with that. Super ride from Pedersen out in front.
Yep, there's the result then. Nicky Pedersen, Chris Holder and Andreas Jonsson, the finishing order. So the progressive totals now at the top of the leaderboard, Nicky Pedersen and Chris Holder with Piotr Pawlicki, 5 points apiece. And we are seeing a scattering of decent racing in the early stages. Still early doors, only 6 seats gone.
Riders just beginning to get the bike set up now, dialed in completely, settling down. The nerves will be disappearing now, just focusing on their job in hand. And it's always a nerve-wracking experience waiting for the opening ride in the Grand Prix Series. And now that you've got in amongst the action, super effort there from Chris Holder. And 5 points from 2 rides is a smashing start to tonight's meeting, giving him an ideal opportunity to make the semi-finals later on this evening. Good speedway, good speedway. Not an easy track to overtake on this one. It's a big fast track, but to find the extra speed to get by riders is never easy around this place.
Number 7 it is, and whilst we're here in the current series of 2016, the charge for the 2017 Grand Prix Series is underway next weekend. It's a big weekend around the continent. Kings Lynn in the UK hosts a World Championship qualifier next Saturday night. So already casting an eye towards 2017. Ultimately, the Grand Prix Challenge is the top 3 from that. Join the top 8 from this year. And then some wild cards as well. That's how it's made up. Killerman off the inside. Lindback, Stroy and Harris, who had a good second place in his opening ride. Chris Harris going off the outside in yellow-black. Good to see Lindback back in the GP Series as well. The boy's got talent.
Supremely talented rider, Nigel. Yeah, super to see him back. His entertainment personified. Had a terrific season last year. Just missed out at the challenge at Rybnik in Poland, but his performances over the course of the season warranted a permanent place in the Grand Prix Series. Keep your eyes on Kilderman. He's a hard charger. Oh!
Very nervy, edgy start. And
Harris moved there on the outside, and I think that sucked in Dennis Stoiss, the wild card there. I'd have to see it again, but I just sense that Harris was a little bit impatient on the outside. Yes, he does jump, and he touches the tape. He's out. He'll be out. I just felt that Harris moved early. He did. And that means that the Brit, after such a good opening ride, has been excluded there. The referee will have no choice, he will have to go.
Well, bad news for Chris Harris. Dennis Stoy was really giving him the daggers, actually. When not that we can see through the helmet and goggles, but Dennis Stoy wasn't happy with Chris Harris. And, well, he moved, he's touched the tapes, and our referee tonight, Arta Kashmirez, the debut boy on the button.
Fairly straightforward decision, wasn't it? And you feel for Harris because he did look actually very impressive in the opening ride. A strong second place, and now the opportunity. 3 more opportunities, of course, to get to the semi-final, but such a frustrating thing to do, that is. Really is. He just knows that gate 4 is a real challenge to get to the first corner, desperate to get away sharp, and just a little bit impatient. So he will now have to find the patience to wait for his 3rd ride.
Yeah, disappointing for Chris Harris, one of 2 British riders in the Grand Prix series. Won a Grand Prix in 2007 in Cardiff in one of the most memorable moments of Grand Prix Speedway history. Past Greg Hancock on the line, and really was
an unforgettable
moment.
Race.
Oh, the Millennium Stadium that night, he raised the roof.
He did
Chris
indeed.
Harris.
He did indeed.
Got to be the highlight of his career. But,
I think Dennis Stoyce will be mightily relieved there, because I suspect he possibly felt that he actually touched the tapes first, so he's got away with that. Kilderman on the inside, who actually was terrific last year, coming in to replace Jarek Hampel, only missing out on the top 8 by just 3 points in the end. And another rider that then got a permanent pick for this year's series, and fully deserved. He really was. In actual fact, his record in Grand Prix is outstanding. He's made so many finals. I think it's more than a 50% strike rate is to get into the finals. And he's a hard charger. He is a very entertaining rider.
Got a big moment here for number 17, the first reserve, Nick Scoria, local boy. Hasn't actually raced in a World Championship Grand Prix race before. He is first reserve. And under the rules of the competition, when a rider touches the tapes, a reserve comes in to replace the guilty party, in this case Chris Harris. So it's Peter Killerman off the inside, Antonio Lindback of Sweden off gate 2, Dennis Stoy, gate 3 in white, and Nick Scoria going off the outside, the Slovenian reserve, in yellow. He'll be a bag of nerves right now, won't he?
He will indeed. This will be the biggest occasion in his career so far. He'll be desperate to just try and be competitive and enjoy the experience. Dennis Stoyce, of course, the wild card going out of gate 3. 2 permanent riders in the series in gates 1 and 2. Could be quite a tussle between Lindback and Kilderman to the first corner.
Kilderman has been a favourite here, but Lindback's made a good start. Now Kilderman will shove him to one side in that first turn. Stoy dumps it the inside as well. A lovely move in the end, but Lindback has got too much pace down that back straight and comes through into second place now. Peter Killerman with that unique style, good to watch, box office no doubt, riding well. Second place is Antonio Lindback, 3rd Dennis Stoy, but Killerman riding hard, but Lindback's got speed.
Yeah, he has. He had speed throughout last year, and he's replicating that here. He's producing terrific speed in second place, but Kilderman once again, he hits the front. He's a tough man to take back. Good start from the inside for the Danish boy, and he's riding nicely out in front. They've cleared off from the 2 local boys back in 3rd and 4th. Gotta say, this is a bit of a high-speed demonstration from Peter Kilderman out in front, but nonetheless, 3 points looking very much on the case for him. Antonio Lindback back in second place. Super stuff from Kilderman.
Yeah, Kilderman in his 14th Grand Prix. And now coming through at the inside is the reserve. Nick Scoria has got the better of Dennis Stoy in a battle for 1 point. But Peter Killerman is going to take the checkered flag. Killerman takes the win with Antonio Lindback second, and Nick Scoria is nodding to the stand. He can't believe that he has just scored a Grand Prix point. That's a lovely romantic story for the young man, Nick Scoria, taking that checkered flag, getting the better of Dennis Stoy. But what about Peter Killerman? Look what it means to him. A big 3 points, puts him on the 4 from 2 rides as well. And it is all getting very tight on that 4.5 point margin.
And heat wins are vital if there's any sort of countback. So winning races is an advantage. And Kilderman picks up a vital 3 points.
Yeah, with Lindback in second there and the reserve Scoria in 3rd. So Killerman moves on to 4 points. And you see my point there about the amount of riders bunching up on 4 and 5 points. And all about finishing in the top 8 after 5 rides apiece. That gets you into the semi-finals. And we're up to heat number 8 next with the local hero Matti Zega and the reigning world champion Ty Woffinden. What a moment though for the young reserve, but what a ride from Peter Killerman. He had to take Lindback out in this first turn. turn.
Yeah, he took care of business. He's a hard charger, and there was no way that Antonio Limback was going to get the better of him there. And he left him high and dry. He charges hard into the first corner. Limback desperately trying to get the better of him. Hits a little hole there and loses control of the bike momentarily and allows Dennis Stoich to just poke his nose up the inside in second place. But this is a super moment for the youngster. Storia getting the better of the more experienced Dennis Stoich there to get himself into third place and picks up his first World Championship point. 3 points over Peter Kilderman, 4 points in total. A solid start.
As Jakob Olsen, as part of his pit crew, works very closely with Jakob Olsen, the son of the legendary Ollie Olsen. And Nick Scorer, what a moment for him.
Smashing, isn't it?
Point on the board. Fantastic. I was going to say he can tell all his schoolmates about it on Monday. But here we go with heat number 8. Matti Zegar goes off the inside in the red helmet colour. Zegar, who has a good record in the GP series. We know he's capable of winning GPs. 3 to his name so far in 13 finals. For Matti Zegar, he goes off the inside in red. Ty Woffinden, the reigning champion, goes off gate 2 in blue. Born in Scunthorpe in the UK, spent his childhood though in Australia before coming back to Europe to forge a successful career as a speedway rider over a decade ago. Bartosz Marslik, brilliant race win in his opening ride, goes off gate 3. And Freddie Lindgren, who is only an injury replacement tonight for Jari Campbell, but has ridden in 84 SGPs before tonight and has a win to his name in Gothenburg. Right, here we go. Heat number 8 then, here in Slovenia. Krško, here we go, a very nervy edgy start there. Woffinden looked as though he may have jumped slightly there at the start, and the red lights are on.
And
the red lights are on.
And the reason being, Ty Woffinden maybe, well, he did move.
He punished himself.
He did indeed.
The referee could have let that go.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. He didn't penalise himself that much as he was in second place, and quite clearly the referee felt or deemed that that was he gained an advantage, and the red lights came on. We'll watch it again. Woffinden does just momentarily move early.
There is a warning issued by the referee via the race director to the rider in blue, Ty Woffinden.
Yep.
A warning issued for Woffinden.
Artur Kashmirez stamping his authority in no certain terms. Zegar actually missed it, and I think that quite possibly exaggerated that move from Woffinden, but nonetheless, he will have to behave himself, otherwise he'll find himself excluded if he delays the start again.
Is that rustiness? Conscious of the fact that you haven't done a lot of laps
I think
this year?
that you could, that's a good point, a valid point. It's lack of racing, a little bit of nerves. Knows how important it is to hit the front. Schmauslik is fast and had made the start, in actual fact. He was there. Fabulous rider. Burst on the scene when as an 18-year-old, didn't he, when he won in Gorzów. Really was quite what a remarkable night it was. But the world champion there, chucking to his chief mechanic, Jacko. Very professional outfit. A solid, tight-knit team. And just think he needs a heat win, I think, Woffinden, just to really settle down, get himself in front. Just a small delay while we're waiting for the boys. And the 2 minutes are on now, and they've got to get themselves back round to the tapes. But the night's building gently. It's a big night. You want to get off to a good start in the Grand Prix series. You don't want to be playing catch-up. One less round this year, of course. We've got 11 rounds rather than 12. So all the more reason to try and get off to a good start.
Well, there's a feel-good factor around this place right now because the football club who play on the infield here have just won promotion to the top level of Slovenian football, NK Krško. Congratulations to all those guys. Playing surface looks immaculate here on the infield.
Indeed it does.
But it's all about the speedway tonight. Heat number 8. Here we go with the lineup again. It's Matti Zegar off the inside. A reminder, Woffinden under a warning from the referee. Another warning and he'll be out. Schmauslik goes off gate 3 in white. Super quick. Watch him go. Outside in yellow is Freddie Lindgren of Sweden. Second time of asking. Heat number 8. Very, very tense out there. What's the grid? Green lights are on and away from the start. Zegar's made it this time. That's a good start from Matti Zegar. And now Schmauslik goes high up the inside and gets the drive. Lindgren's coming through and Woffinden has been left trailing down the back. Lindgren looking good here, has just passed Schmauslik. But there's a real roar around this track because Matti Zegar has the lead. It's a great start from him, but has has to be said, Freddie Lindgren has got a bit of pace here, and he's putting the pressure on Matti Zegar.
Yeah, a forceful move there from Lindgren to get the better of the opposition, to get himself into second place. The world champion out the back, not looking like he's landing a blow at the moment. The home favourite, of course, those delighting the crowd, got the inside gate and used it to good benefit, but keep your eyes on Lindgren. Lindgren is charging hard in second place. A good opportunity for the Swede to put himself back on the international map. Zegar out in front, though, bouncing back, looking good after a disappointing opening ride.
Yeah, Matti Zegar looking superb here. He's had to work hard to shake off the challenge of Freddie Lindgren. Third place in white, Bartosz Smarslik, and it's the reigning champion at the back, Ty Woffenden. But listen to the roar of the crowd here as Woffenden comes round and just about picks a point.
Yeah.
Woffenden has just got the better of Smarslik, and every point counts in the battle for the top 8. But what about that from Matti Zegar? Home fans are jubilant. That was a superb effort, all the hard work done over the first couple of laps to shake off Lindgren, who had pace, had the speed. But what an atmosphere in this stadium now. Matti Zegar, who rides for the Bellevue Aces in the UK, takes the checkered flag, and it's a good win for Zegar. With Lindgren second, Woffenden somehow managed to pick Bartosz Smarslik on the line for the point. And there's the progressive totals. 8 heats gone. Pedersen, Holder and Pavlitsky lead the Grand Prix, 5 points apiece.
Super ride there from Zegar. He had a tough ride in the opening race and failed to score. And of course, this time he goes from the inside gate. And the second time of asking, he makes a super start and doesn't put a wheel wrong. Freddie Lindgren there comes into the picture from the outside. That was a hard charging ride from the Swede to get the better of Smarslik initially as they go down the back straight. And the world champion looks out of it at this early stage. Doesn't look like he's going to land a blow. But doesn't throw the towel in, because at the end of the day he manages to steal a point off of Smarslik. Home crowd delighted. Zegar, of course, will have an awful lot of pressure on his shoulders as the home favourite. A lot of expectations on Zegar to do well here this evening. And this is the sort of ride he needed. He needed this after a really disappointing opening ride. Superb scenes, a big crowd, great atmosphere. Well, Zegar just relaying some information to his crew, but the good feel factor will be flooding through that pit, no question, because winning races is what it's all about. The confidence will be back, and they'll be pleased to have bounced back after a disappointing opening ride. And he's now in the meeting. He'll feel that he's part of it, and he'll be building towards the semi-finals. Track grading, of course, now after the that 4 heats we've just witnessed. People in the crowd just having an opportunity to have a bit of a breather and reflect on those 4 rides. It's a decent Grand Prix. It is a difficult track to overtake on. Woffenden did well to steal a point there in the end. He looked like he was struggling for pace, but well, he rode brilliantly right to the checkered flag and managed to get it on the score sheet. But Zegar, the home crowd will be chuffed to bits with that.
Yeah, very much so. It's a very fast track here. Some grading going on in between the grading breaks here now. And Greg Hancock will feel a lot better about things. He's got a win under his belt, but he's with Steve Brandon. Well, we'll try and pick up that interview very shortly. But yeah, Greg will feel a lot happier now. Looks super quick,
rightly
didn't he?
so, because he was very impressive. You know, he made a great start, as we were accustomed to seeing from him, but once he hit the front, he had great speed as well. He really was untroubled out in front, and after a tough ride with 3rd place in his opening ride, moves nicely onto 4 points, and it's pretty much what you expect from Greg Hancock. He has the ability, he has the qualities of being able to win races from the start.
Let's try again with Greg Hancock and Steve Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, why would you change a bike that was so fast like that? And, you know, when you've got that sweet spot, often you just want to hang on to that for as long as possible. So, yeah, I can understand the thinking in that camp right now.
Well, let's hear from Nicky Pedersen now. He's with Steve Brandon.
Na big screenu smo seveda videli in slišali trikratnega svetovnega prvaka Grega Hancocka iz Združenih držav. Prvak v letih 97, 2011 in 2014, tudi lanskoletni zmagovalec v Krškem na dirki za veliko nagrado Slovenije. Ja, Greg Hancock sicer med top 10 vozniki na osnovi seštevka granskih točk osvojenih v Krškem na 4. mestu je Greg Hancock.
Yeah, good start for Nicky Pedersen, and it is a surprise that it's so slick because they did a lot of track preparation in the middle of the day with really pouring an awful lot of water on the track and actually ripping the outside of the track extensively. But quite clearly, you know, the boys are reporting back that it's slicker than they imagined, and hence they're having to work hard on just getting the bike to really hook up.
How different is it to practice yesterday, the track, Kelvin?
Very different. Yesterday was quite loose and marbly and dry. Tonight there's more moisture in the surface, but not much more grip. You know, all the riders are sort of giving us reports back that they're searching for more speed and more grip. So they're having to work very hard. I think it's also as a consequence that it's much cooler than practice yesterday. Bikes are producing more horsepower as a consequence, and they're having to detune slightly.
Well, the tractor's going round, grading the track, and also the water is going down on the track surface as well. Good crowd here, grandstand almost full, and a good crowd all the way around the first, second, and the back straight. Good to see. Quite a few Brits that have made the trip over here as well for the opening GP.
Good atmosphere,
yeah.
And it's a nice place to come to. As I said earlier on in the evening, it's a very pretty place to come to. It's a super setting. And, you know, a relatively easy place, an easy venue to get to. You can fly to Zagreb and just come over the border into Slovenia and come that way, or fly to Ljubljana and travel an hour and a half and you're here. It's not, the traffic's not too much of an issue in this part of the world, so, yeah, not a bad one to come to.
Well, what a ride for Nick Scoria to get a point under his belt as a Grand Prix reserve. He'll remember that moment for the rest of his life for sure.
Yes.
Beating his fellow countryman Dennis Stoy. Jason Doyle has struggled. World number 5, hasn't been able to get it together so far.
No, just lacking that little bit of speed, and I'm sure that they could well be contemplating changing the bike. Freddie Lindgren there just preparing himself and waiting patiently for his upcoming ride in heat number 9. Was much more competitive last time. Made a significant switch on his equipment. He's using the new Swiss-made engine, the GTR. And on the evidence of his second ride, he looked pretty competitive with that.
Yeah, and the action will get back underway very shortly. They've just marked the start line. And the water's still going down here.
Yeah.
Part of the battle, really, keeping the moisture in the circus, in the surface, the circuit and the surface. If you combine that, it's a circus.
There you go.
But anyway, heat number 9 coming up. Andreas Jonsson, Freddie Lindgren, Piotr Pawlicki is off gate 3 this time, and Peter Killerman going off the outside. Andreas Jonsson hasn't got going yet, Kelv. Can he make gate 1 count?
Yeah, well, he needs to. He's had 2 outside gates in his opening 2 rides and has picked up a couple of points, but it is vitally important on the evidence of the way the meeting is unfolding that the inside gates, you take advantage of those. And Woofenden there, who just snatched a point in his last race, still doesn't look too concerned. 3 more opportunities for the world champion to make the semi-finals. But Andreas Jonsson, as you mentioned, on 2 points from 2 rides, will be desperate to try and pick up a heat win from the inside.
Certainly will. 18th's gone then here in Slovenia. We go back to Warsaw in a couple of weeks' time. The Stadion Narodowe. Now, the meeting only lasted 12 heats last year, Kelvin, but we're looking forward to going back there.
We are indeed. It's the capital city of Poland. It's a wonderful stadium. As you say, 12 heats last year. I'm looking forward to seeing 23 this time.
Riders coming out for heat number 9 then here. Andreas Johnson will need a big ride off the inside gate in the red helmet colour. 2 points to his name so far. Freddie Lindgren has had a real go in his last ride. Really did have plenty of speed, Freddie Lindgren, challenging Matti Zegar.
Yes, an encouraging ride for the Swedish rider who has this opportunity to take this Grand Prix because of the injury or the continuing problems for Jarek Hempel, who has sustained that badly broken leg in last year's World Cup, right back in June of last year, so still struggling to find full fitness. It'll be interesting to see when Hempel declares himself fit and takes up his place in the Grand Prix series. Kilderman going from the outside here, Nige. Will be interesting. He was a good winner last time out. Can he do it again from the outside?
Number 9 coming up here in Krško, Slovenia. Big race coming up. Line up on the way. Andreas Johnson off the inside in red, only 2 points to his name, the same as Freddie Lindgren off gate number 2. Piotr Pawlicki 5 points out of 6, gate 3 in white. And Peter Killerman going off the outside in yellow. He's going to need all his pace going wide and trying to get the drive to try and make it count here from that outside gate yellow. Heat number 9. Big race for the guys off the inside 2 gate positions. Johnson and Lindgren have only scored 2 points apiece, Kelvin.
Yeah, the World Cup winners from last year, they've got plenty of experience at Grand Prix level as well. They'll be desperate to take advantage of the inside gate. Here we go. Oh! Pawlicki straight into the tapes.
And he knows it. He is a frustrated man.
Well, and unnecessary. Maybe a touch of inexperience there, Nigel, because 5 points to his name from... Oh, yeah, just impatience. You know, Kilderman hadn't moved, and he knows that that's down to parlour error there. But a touch of inexperience because, in truth, 5 points from 2 rides, no need to panic.
Well, so... Piotr Pawlicki is disqualified, so Matic Ivacic will come in, the second reserve. Rider number 18 will have a chance. Can only put it down to first night nerves, Calvary.
Which is unusual because with dropping just the solitary point from his opening 2 rides, you would have thought he would have settled down, but quite clearly he was nervous on the start line. Possibly the pressure of going from the outside gates was on his mind. Here we see Ivacic getting himself ready. He's all excited to take his place in the lineup. Yeah, clearly just drops the clutch too early, and he knows that there's no way back from that. He will have to sit this one out and then wait for his upcoming ride.
And under the regulations of the Grand Prix, a rider touches the tapes, a reserve comes in to replace him to keep it up to a 4-man race. We saw Nick Scoria get a point in his Grand Prix debut ride, but now we have Matic Ivacic coming in as the second reserve.
And also an interesting point, Nige, he's a rider in form, you know, got 5 points from his first 2 rides. It does make the ride a little easier for the other competitors. No question that he's a big factor that's now lost to this heat, so you know, the other boys, the other 3 riders that are involved here, Kilderman, Lindgren and Johnson, they'll be thinking, well, this is now a little added bonus, an opportunity to steal some points, move towards the semi-finals.
Here's the lineup then with Andreas Johnson off the inside gate. Gate 2 is Freddie Lindgren. Gate 3, Matic Ivacic, the reserve. And Peter Killerman going off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. We try again then. Second time of asking, the 9th race of the series and already the second tape exclusion. Has to sit still at the start. We saw Woofenden pull back from the start and warned he didn't quite touch the tapes. But opening night nerves, the first round of the Grand Prix Series for 2016. Heat number 9 is underway, and Johnson has got there from that first turn. A nice move from Andreas Johnson, but watch out for Killerman in yellow. Lindgren blocks the line, and they're all bunched up down the back straight. Peter Killerman!
What a move from Peter Kilderman. Splits the 2 Swedes, charges to the front. What a move from the outside. That really was dramatic speedway. In the second place, Freddie Lindgren. In third is Andreas Johnson, but Peter Kilderman box office out in front.
Well, when I said he's going to need all the speed and drive in the dirt round the outside, that's not exactly what I had in mind.
He heard
I thought
you.
he might at least take a couple of laps. But my goodness, Peter Killerman, I'm sure he must have shut his eyes and just thought, right, let's have a go. Boom, I'm through.
Brilliant speedway from Kilderman on the opening lap. Not room there really for that move, but he squeezed between the Swedes. Brilliant from the Dane, looking like he's going to go back-to-back heat wins. England is building here, looking like another second place for him. Johnson just lacking a little bit of pace, but Peter Kilderman, what a ride from him.
Yeah, what a ride indeed. He deserves a win for that move alone. The Swedish boys didn't see it coming. But Peter Killerman with a moment of magic down that back straight. You could see he was lining it up. He got his wheels in line. And my goodness, there was just about enough space to go through. Johnson turns away. He's disconsolate with only third place after being on gate number 1. But Peter Killerman from the outside gate, that's how it's done.
Absolutely, what a ride it was. Can't wait to see it again because there couldn't have been any room at all. Peter Kilderman, what a man, what a ride.
Killerman the winner with Lindgren second. Johnson was third. Ride of the night from Peter Killerman, no doubt about that. Puts him on to 7 points so far. Lindgren moves on to 4, and Johnson trailing on 3 with only 2 heats remaining for him. He's got to do some work now to get into the semi-finals.
Yeah, he is. He's going to have to find the key. Not enough pace there from Andres Johnson. Peter Kilderman the reverse. Back-to-back heat wins from him. His team will be overjoyed with this. Let's watch it again. Let's enjoy this move. Tapes are up. The 2 Swedish boys on the gates 1 and 2. Charge to the corner. It's Johnson that's made the start. Got himself to the corner. Lindgren follows him, then decides to switch to the outside. Kilderman then reads it beautifully. What a move that was. Squares the corner off. Just has the speed. The door's open. Winds it on. Squeezes in there. Thank you very much indeed. I'm having that. Charges to the front. Picks up another valuable win. Moves on to 7 points. Mr. Entertainment so far this evening. Johnson will be concerned. What a move it is. You can't get bored watching that too many times. He'll be chuffed to bits. Johnson will be concerned. Not enough speed in the motorbike at this stage. Lindgren building 2 solid second places in his last 2 rides. But that's a star-studded performance from Mr. Kilderman.
What's Swedish for where the heck did he come from? Anybody know? Unbelievable. Heat number 10 coming up. The boys are up at the tapes already. Freddie Lindgren there working hard for his points tonight. Heat number 10 is coming right up now. The boys are up at the starting tapes, and it's quite a lineup again. We are really seeing a terrific field in the 2016 Grand Prix Series. Moving to the Stadion Narodowy in Warsaw in a couple of weeks' time. Good ticket sales for that once again. And looking forward to a super show there this year, I'm sure. Smarslik up the inside, Janowski up 2. Gate 3 is Lindback. Doyle off the outside, only 1 point to his name, and he's off gate 4. He's going to have to do something special here. Here we go! Heat number 10! Into that first turn. Doyle has gone wide now. Doyle's got the drive around the outside. Down the back straight.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness me. That was a stunning move from Jason Doyle, the world number 5. Just as Smarslik looked to have the race under control, Doyle went and was really, really brave and courageous there. Got the drive. It's Doyle now with that advantage from Smarslik in second. Janowski is third, and Lindback is trailing at the back.
Fabulous first corner there from the Australian. Had the room, used it beautifully, carried the speed through the corner and fired himself to the front. Smarslik in second place now, hucks the inside, putting pressure on the Australian. Janowski being dropped in third place, and Lindback in fourth place, who's had speed, looking to try and get himself in the race, but Doyle needed this. 1 point he had before this race. He's showing great character here, Nigel, pushing on out in front.
Yeah, it was a wonderful move, and it does look as though the dirt is drifting out to the fence on that first and second turn. It's a super ride. Now, Smarslik might just have one last nibble towards the finish line, but Doyle has done enough. It's a super ride, and the 2 boys from the outside gates in the last 2 heats have worked miracles. Peter Killerman in Heat 9, and now Jason Doyle in Heat 10. And that will make him feel a whole lot better because he only had a point to his name before that race.
Wow.
And that is more like it from Jason Doyle.
Absolutely, the world number 5 comes good, shows his quality, shows his class. Great move around the first corner, comes up with a blinding ride really when he needed it. Puts himself back in the hunt for a top 8 place into the semi-finals this evening. Heat number 10 goes for Doyle.
Yeah, good ride, Jason Doyle. Bartosz Smarslik Mats Janowski and Antonio Limbach, the finishing order. And just look at the impact that has for Doyle now. Moves him on to 4 points, level with Janowski, and puts him right back in contention to challenge for a semi-final spot. That was a huge result for Jason Doyle. He had to do it the hard way from gate number 4, and he delivered the goods.
Yeah, absolutely, and just showed that the team had worked overtime. Gutsat fires himself to the front. Schmarslik and the other 2 riders then hugged the inside. The doors open and he took full advantage of it. Powered his way down the back straight and fired himself to the front. Schmarslik gives chase, but just cannot get the better of the Australian. This is the move that seals it. Middle of the track, back tire on the edge of the grip. Bike pulling your arms out, charges down the back straight. Beautiful ride from Doyle. Schmarslik having a good Grand Prix, bouncing back after a pointless ride in his second race, picks up 2 valuable points. But for Doyle, that was vital, and it comes good when he really needed it.
Yep, super ride from Jason Doyle in the yellow helmet colour here. Just when Schmarslik looked good on the inside line, being challenged hard by Janowski, but Doyle went into the dirt, high and wide. And that is a fantastic ride from Jason Doyle. Finally getting some big points on the board. Schmarslik riding well on his debut full campaign.
Yeah.
He's certainly going to be a spoiler this year and may win a Grand Prix or 2 along the way.
Oh, there's no doubt he's a winner. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if he picks up another Grand Prix win this season. 5 points from 3 rides is a decent return. Just the one blip in his second ride, but a good solid performance in his previous ride. World champions out here, Nige, and he'll be looking for his first win.
Yeah, heat number 11 it is. Ty Woofenden off the inside gate in red. Needs the points here now because he's only got 3 to his name from his opening couple of rides. If he gets a win here, put him on to 6 and he'll be right on target for a semi-final spot. Woofenden, Everson, Harris and Holder, who's looked really good tonight. Chris Holder goes off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. What can Woofenden do off the inside now?
Well, he'll be keen to try and take advantage of it. It's been working well, the inside gate. He needs to just be a little bit calmer on the start line. Just snuck that point last time, didn't he? And kept himself in with it. A heat win here would be vital for him. Holders look good. You're right, Nige. He's had a lot of speed. Everson has had a slow start. And I think he'll be now looking to use the inside gate, the gate number 2, to try and pick up some big points. Competitive racing. And Harris, of course, with the frustrations of touching the tapes last time, needs to just try and battle his way into this meet. He's got 2 points. Needs to build on it this time.
Here we go then. Heat number 11 it is. Woofenden drops the clutch from the inside and has just about got there. But watch out for the man in white, Chris Harris. He charges up the inside. Now they're going to bunch up down the back straight, but Woofenden has got a lot of speed. Everson is second. Harris is third now, and Chris Holder is trailing at the back. Now Everson is taking up the challenge on the reigning champion. But it's Woofenden from Everson, from Harris, from Holder going into lap 2. But the chase is on. Everson is all after Ty Woofenden.
He is indeed, but the inside gate worked a treat there for Woofenden. Took full advantage, ran wide in the first corner, shuffled them all up, and in second place. Holder is having trouble with Harris. Harris is there, really going hard in third place, but don't see Holder at the moment being able to get amongst the points. Woofenden needed this, really did. He's going to have to keep an eye on Everson, who's really working overtime in second place, but the world champion out in front just needs to keep it all together. Vital 3 points on the cards.
Just about keeping Everson at arm's length here. Woofenden is the man in red, twice world champion. He's going to get the checkered flag, and in 3 points, it doubles his score. It's an important couple of points for Niels Everson as well, because that puts him on to 3. So that was a significant result. And Chris Harris is on 3 as well. After that third place, a real battle. Harris early on, challenging Woofenden in the first and second turn, having a go, and Chris Holder gets his first duck of the season in the Grand Prix, failing to score in heat number 11. So a big result for Woofenden, that. He takes the victory with Niels Christian Everson second, Chris Harris was third, and Chris Holder at the back. This is after 11 races. Woofenden now moves on to 6 and looking in a much stronger position. Holder stays on 5 points. Everson and Harris on 3 apiece. Work to do to get into the semis.
Well, I think it was also a reflection on how important it was that he stole that point in his previous ride. He now bounces back with a vital win using the inside gates when he's had the outside gates in his opening 2 rides. just leaves the door open there momentarily for Harris, but to all credit for Everson, he then roars around the outside to get the better of the Brit and slips into second place. The champion out in front, rides like a champion this time, and is solid, and he'll be pleased with that. He'll be building on that with 6 points, possibly 2 points more, and he'll make the semi-finals this evening. Holder's frustrated, I would think, out the back, couldn't find a way through to get amongst the points this time. But Ty Wolfenden coming good when he really needed to.
It's going to be said, there's a great atmosphere here. They're booming out the top tunes all around this stadium. The crowd are loving it. People dancing down the back straight to the music. None of this, oh, it's too loud, turn it down for me, business. Well, that was you, Kel. 6 points to Wolfenden, 3 for Everson.
Yeah, Everson with work to do, but he's got 2 inside gates to finish with. Needs to take advantage of that. Wolfenden just relaying some information to his team. I'm happy with that, but maybe just looking for a touch more speed. Everson, though, he's a classy rider. I expect him to get amongst the points in his last 2 rides.
There's your lineup for heat number 12. It's Greg Hancock off the inside again. Well, that's worked nicely for him because he made a great start last time. Zegar off 2. Nicky Pedersen going off gate 3. And Dennis Stroy, the wild card, going off the outside in yellow. Have to fancy Hancock from the inside here.
Absolutely. He was dynamite in his previous race, and he said that he didn't need to change anything, and I'll be very surprised if they have, because once he hit the front, he showed dynamic speed out in front, as did Zegar, in truth, in his last ride. So could be quite a tussle between those 2 boys in gates 1 and 2. Pedersen, of course, he never knows when he's out of it. He'll be pushing on, coming out of gate 3.
Here we go then, heat number 12, and Hancock has got the 20-unit lead. Now he's got that first turn ahead of him. Can he dominate the race from here? Second place in blue is Mati Zegar, the Slovenian star, as Pedersen tries the inside line. Pedersen is going to take Zegar wide. Zegar's going to switch back up the inside. Can he return the compliment?
Oh! Big crash! Oh, they touched coming out of turn 4. Pedersen ran up the inside going into turn 3. Zegar then squared the corner off and then actually was closing the door on Pedersen. Pedersen, of course, just kept coming, ran out of track, ran out of room. First pressure now, big decision for the referee.
Well, the referee has to decide who has caused the stoppage of the race. That is the decision that has to be made. Who has caused the stoppage of the race? First point we have to say is let's hope Nicky Pedersen is okay and he's up on his feet.
Concern for Pedersen. Attention immediately for the 3-time former world champion. Bike's on its way back to the pits. Dramatic incident. Tough one to call, actually. This, a tough one to call, because there's no question that Pedersen runs wide, having run in so tight going into turn 3. Zegar then moved back to the inside. Just had his nose in front. Pedersen kept coming, didn't he? He didn't shut the throttle at all, and just runs out of track in actual fact.
Yeah, you could see, you could predict what was going to happen in terms of the lines the boys were taking.
You could see it happening. Whether
not necessarily a crash, but
no,
you could see the lines the boys were taking.
Absolutely, you could see that there was contact, and then Zegar, of course, then felt that he had the position back and felt that he should be able to then dictate on what part of the track he should be on. Be interesting to see. Concern for Pedersen, though, because that was a hard, going so fast around here as well. Speed's very high indeed.
Yeah, well, he's sat up. He's actually sat up, Nicky Pedersen, right in front of us. Looks badly winded, it has to be said. He is talking to the people around him. He is sat up. And the decision has to be made now by the referee.
From that angle, you've got to say that Zegar is naughty and gives him a real good shove as they come out of the corner. This angle is slightly different, with Zegar actually in front and Pedersen there possibly just running out of track. It's a tough call. Let's have a look at this now. Zegar coming across there, probably comes across a little bit too far in actual fact and creates an issue. Whether Nicky Pedersen, yeah.
Mati Zegar. It looks like Mati Zegar has been adjudged to be the guilty party and is excluded from the rerun. So we'll have 3 riders only. Nicky Pedersen is just getting to his feet now.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough call for the referee, not the one he would have wished upon for this evening in his first Grand Prix. Zagar probably did push a little bit too hard. There's no doubt that there was contact. He won't be happy with it. Good to see Pedersen up on his feet. Touch fortunate, you've got to say, because it was a very high-speed incident. Helga there on the left, his manager, just making sure that he's okay. He's a tough customer, Pedersen, but probably the right decision in the end. Not an easy one, though. You see now, just allows the bike to run across the corner too far and leaves Pedersen with nowhere to go, and a hard, and you're
From
right.
that angle, it's the right decision.
It is, absolutely, yeah.
From this one,
in that one, it's not quite as
not
clear
quite as
cut.
clear cut, no.
But referee's made his decision. It won't be a popular one because obviously he's taken the home favourite out. You know,
well, the fans are seeing these angles now in the stadium. They're being shown on the big screen.
Zagar just coming across a touch too much there. And really, you know, with somebody like Nicky Pedersen, he's not going to give, is he? He's always going to keep going. Runs out of track. That's a hard crash. Very hard crash. Dennis Storch is lucky to miss the bike.
Yeah, thankfully Dennis Storch stayed away from trouble.
He did.
And Zagar's on the phone to the referee. The race director is Phil Morris, putting Zagar in contact with the referee, Artur Kashmerez, and his debut Grand Prix. You don't really want to be having decisions like that, do you?
No, it's not ideal. He would have been hopeful that he wouldn't have to have a tough call to make, but it was one. And one way or another, because of the rules of the sport, somebody had to go. And hard as it is, it's quite possibly the right call.
Well, Nicky Pedersen making his way back to the pits now. Boos and whistles around the stadium. It was never going to be a popular decision, putting the home favourite out. But the bottom line is, the referee has seen it as that Matti Zagar was the guilty party causing the stoppage. Under speedway regulations, the referee has to make a decision who caused the stoppage of the race.
Well, there's no doubt that he moves across the corner. He probably felt that he had his nose in front and he could dictate where he could go. But Nicky Pedersen, you know, is so competitive, he's never going to lay down. Well, he has to in the end, in actual fact. But that move there is probably a little too strong. And that's the reason why the referee has excluded him. Not ideal. There, you see, it looks slightly different, doesn't it? It looks like Pedersen should have come out of the throttle and given best. But that was never going to happen.
These boys are tough, and Nicky Pedersen will be back for the rerun after picking himself up. Well, Jason Doyle can reflect on an important race win last time out. Well, we've got a bit of a gap waiting for Nicky Pedersen and the restart of heat number 12. Let's have a word with Jason Doyle. He's with Steve Brandon now.
Yeah, it's not easy nights, you know, because the track is different from yesterday, and you know, you'll get a good feel off a bike and you choose that and you want to go with that. And of course Doyle there, they made the call and it's given him a chance to now push on, and the confidence will be flooding back in his veins. Crowd aren't happy, are they? Not happy at all with that decision.
Well, the whistles are for Nicky Pedersen, who's just come out onto the track.
Sure.
But it has to be said, above and beyond anything else, it's always good to see a rider get up from any incident, particularly that one, which was at a high speed, and Pedersen's back impacted into the safety fence.
Absolutely, and the good fortune he had was that Dennis Storch missed him, because if he got collected there by another rider, then injury would have been definitely on the card. So Pedersen's up and about. The crowd aren't happy because the local favourite has been excluded, but a tough call for the referee.
Fresh bike?
Yeah, absolutely. He had to change the equipment. The other bike was quite clearly damaged in the incident. So yeah, he'll be keeping his fingers crossed that the spare one's as good as the first one.
Here we go with heat number 12. Greg Hancock off the inside in red. No rider off gate 2. Nicky Pedersen gate 3 in white. Dennis Stoy going off the outside gate in yellow. No doubt opinions flying around on social media right now about who was right and who was wrong with that incident. It's all drama and controversy, but Pedersen is back.
Well, there's only one person that really counts in this situation. It's the referee, Nigel. We don't envy that decision he had to make there, but he's made a hard decision. He's made the tough call by taking the local man out. So, you know, all credit to him in that regard. Not easy and not ideal. No love lost, I tell you what, between Greg Hancock and Nicky Pedersen. Very competitive between those two boys. They'll be charging hard now. Hancock on the inside. Can he repeat the textbook start he did in the initial stages?
Number 12, and Greg Hancock had that lead early on here. He's got into that first turn ahead of Pedersen. And now Nicky Pedersen will try and wide it on. And can he stay in contention with Hancock, who's moved well clear? And here, now a real challenge coming from Dennis Stoy on Pedersen. Doesn't look as though Nicky Pedersen has a lot of speed in that bike. Greg Hancock carving up heat number 12. Once again from that inside gate, looking superb, the American.
He is indeed, the inside gate. He is so consistent away from the tapes. The bike beautifully balanced to the first corner, and again, showing great speed. Pedersen taken by surprise, I would think, on the opening lap by Dennis Stoy coming up the inside, but 2 points should be in the bag for the former three-time world champion. But Hancock, again, the winner here last year in September, Nigel, with 20 big points. Bouncing back from his opening ride, looking like he's going to go back-to-back heat wins.
Yeah, well, if it stays like this, Hancock and Pedersen will be on 7 points apiece from 3 rides each. That'll do them nicely. Greg Hancock onto a second successive race win here, looking very stylish in the red helmet colour. Magnificent performance from him. Pedersen, who had to see off the challenge of Dennis Stoy early on then, but 3 riders only, and Greg Hancock now onto 7 points for the Californian. And with Nicky Pedersen picking up a couple of points there and picking himself up after that crash, moves Nicky onto 7 points as well. So the big guns are firing here at the top of the leaderboard tonight. Here's the results of Heat 12. Hancock, Pedersen and Stoy. And after 3 rides each now, 12 heats gone, this is how it looks at the top of the leaderboard. Hancock, Killerman and Pedersen on 7 points apiece.
1 point for third place of Dennis Stoy's Slovenia.
Yeah, wonderful ride again from Greg Hancock. Again, the inside gate works a treat for him. Second time of asking, of course, and Pedersen on the spare bike. I don't think they probably had it quite set up as he would have wished. He seemed to be spinning up violently on the opening lap. And what Stoy says, Stoy's very nearly steals second place off of him. Pedersen probably realises he's a touch vulnerable and has to slam the door shut as they go into turn 3 on the opening lap. Hancock comfortable out in front. The last 2 rides from the former world champion have been pretty comfortable in reality. And the American now is well and truly ensconced on 7 points, looking good.
7 points apiece, 6 world titles between them. More mature riders in the Grand Prix series, should we put it like that?
Yeah, nice way to put it.
Showing the youngsters the way.
They are, and you know, they're very competitive guys, prepare very well before the season starts. And Pedersen there, after a heavy fall, picks himself off the deck, picks up 2 vital points. Was never challenging for the lead, but nonetheless, the 2 points he'll be very grateful for. But Greg Hancock looking like a rider that could go all the way this evening. With that speed and with those starts, he will be a difficult man to beat.
Sure he will. So we're at the interval stage now. We're going to take probably around a 10-minute break, which is traditional under the Grand Prix format. But the home fans will be pretty disconsolate after that decision. And it's the talking point, I'm sure, as well, about Matti Zagar being disqualified for taking out Nicky Pedersen. But that's what Speedway's all about. It's a tough old game. Now, Ty Woofenden, 6 points for him, the reigning champion. He's with Steve Brandon. That was an interesting analogy of the speed down the straights.
Yeah, great description there from the world champion.
We better not elaborate
Revving
on that,
it down the back straight.
Revving its bits off, down the back straight. Peter Killerman now, let's hear from him with Steve Brandon.
Yeah, very entertaining ride-up.
Just a bit.
Smashing move down that back straight, wasn't it, to get the better of the opposition. The two Swedish boys didn't know what hit them, did it, when they went down the back straight? But Peter Kilderman's a very professional outfit. He's got some experience in there, and Jakob Olsen, who leads the pack, really, he is quite clearly giving him the right advice.
Yeah, so heat number 13 will be coming up, and 8 races left to decide who the top 8 will be and who will go through to the semi-finals here. And we can get some more reaction. Greg Hancock is speaking to Steve Brandon.
Sezona 2016 se je torej še dobro začela s prvo dirko nocoj tudi v Krškem, je pa pogled že vedno usmerjen tudi v prihodnje leto, torej v sezono 2017. Zakaj to govorim? Ja, seveda, malo se bodo pričeli kvalifikacije za Speedway Grand Prix serije 2017, in sicer že z dirkami 7. maja. Kar 3 takšne dirke bodo, in sicer 3 skupine 7. maja, ena bo v britanskem Zlinu, druga v danskem Slanderoku, tretja pa v nam bližnjem italijanskem Terencanu. Še četrta skupina, ki se bi 16. maja, in sicer gostil do kvalifikacije nemški Adelsberg. 7 voznikov plus ena rezerva se gostijo potem v polfinale kvalifikacij za Grand Prix, in sicer v 2 skupini, 28. maj bo prvi polfinale v tudi nam bližnjem Hrvaškem Goričanu, in pa 2. julij je drugi polfinalni datum v Italiji v Loligu. Na koncu se seveda tako kot vsako leto najboljši kvalifikanti.
Super stuff there from Hancock. Says he focuses on making starts. No doubt that strategy works very well for him, because this is an opportunity for him, and quite clearly the inside gates are an advantage, and if he can get a good choice for the semi-finals, I'm sure that the inside gates will be the favourites. Doyle, of course, just cleaning himself down, and he rode well in that last race on his second bike, needed it, and showed the sort of form he had last year, Nigel.
I've just been reading 1 or 2 comments on social media about the crash, about the decision. One of the comments I read was the throttle works both ways, suggesting that Nicky could have got off it, but you don't do that in a Grand Prix, do you?
No, it's very difficult to do that when there are World Championship points on the line, and Pedersen doesn't do that. And a tough call, though, for the referee, not entirely clear-cut. You could argue it the other way, but Zagar probably did move a little bit too far. Hence that's why the referee saw it that he should go. Janowski there just getting a little bit of energy in, just relaxing in this break. It's been a bit up and down, started very well, but just 1 point from the next 2 rides, so he's got work to do if he wants to make the semi-finals. More than capable. He's got a gate 4 and a gate 1 to come up, so needs to take advantage of those.
Yeah, the main grandstand here then at the Mati Gubka Stadium. Good crowd and a good atmosphere enjoying the action tonight. The bulk of the crowd not happy with that decision to exclude Zegar because it can have an impact on whether he qualifies for the semi-finals or not. Riders making preparations then. Looks as though we're going to get back into the action very shortly. And Niels Christian Everson has found it tough tonight. He's talking to Steve Brandon.
Najbolj zaenkrat kaže trend smučaristov, ki so zbrali po 7 točk, in sicer so to Niki Pedersen iz Danske, Peter Kinderman, prav tako Danska, ter Greg Henkel iz Združenih držav. Imamo v njem voznika, ki je osvojil 6 točk, to je Tyler Miller iz Velike Britanije, in pa nekaj, ki so jih osvojili po 5. To so proti Poljska, potem je tu Doktor Zmarzlik proti Poljska, in pa
Well, we're ready for action again now with heat number 13 as the riders prepare to do battle once again. And this will be the 4th round of heats for the riders here. And the man in red, Dennis Stoy, has got a point under his belt. We've got Smarslik, Holder and Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky won the first race of the season. Heat number 1 tonight. He's off the outside gate, but races have been won from the outside, Kelvin.
They have, and I'm sure that they will continue to be, but he has put himself under unnecessary pressure because there's no doubt that the exclusion touching the tapes last time out was a little bit, maybe a sign of inexperience, but he'll need to bounce back now. There's no doubt that Smarslik also has been pushing on and is looking good, actually. Smarslik, he's got 5 points to his name after his opening 3 rides, so once again he'll be looking to build on that. So 2 young Polish riders here that are new to the series, fully fledged Grand Prix riders as well, and the former world champion Chris Holder there going out of gate 3. Good looking lineup.
So here we go with heat 13 here in Kushko. Going off the inside, Dennis Stoy with just a point to his name. Bartosz Smarslik, race winner earlier on, 5 points now. Chris Holder is off gate number 3, and off the outside is Piotr Pavlitsky. Race winners across 3 of the gates here, gates 2, 3 and 4. And Kelvin, we are at now a real vital part of the meeting.
Yeah, we're in the meat of the meeting now, you're right, and riders now will be pushing hard for World Championship points. Every ride counts, of course, and even though if you can't make the semi-finals, you must never throw the towel in because it's a cumulative. Every point counts towards the total. Here we go.
Coming into that first turn, it's all very tight early on here, and the man in blue, Bartosz Smarslik, goes wide, and that has delivered the goods for him. Holder's going to have to really work hard now. He's come through into 3rd place, 2nd spot right now is Piotr Pavlitsky. It's a Polish 1-2. Holder was really beaten up earlier on then, and Holder now is going to try his best to come through into 2nd. It's a great ride. Smarslik's lost it completely. Oh, down the back straight. Oh my goodness me. How they stayed on the bike.
Unbelievable. Holder's now hit the front. Smarslik got out of shape, left the door wide open. Holder had made the move up the inside of Pavlitsky, got himself into 2nd place and then inherited the lead. Smarslik now coming back for more of Pavlitsky. Incredible speedway here in E13. Holder out in front. He's the main beneficiary.
Well, Holder was beaten up early on by Smarslik. And there's a real battle for 2nd. Smarslik has just leapt all over Pavlitsky. Thankfully, they stayed on the bike. But look how quick Holder looks now. He's got this race in the bag. That's the distance between them. Holder looking very smooth, but he's had to work hard for that. He was taken out big time. And then Smarslik was suddenly heading for the fence, managed to stay on the bike, It was like stuntmen at work there at times in Heat 13.
I didn't realise that Speedway was a contact sport. I think the two young poles there obviously haven't read the rules, because what a race that was. Schmarzlik getting it all wrong earlier on in the race. That opened the door just as Holder was making the move on Pawlicki. He inherits the lead, then the speed of the bike was incredible out in front. What a Heat 13.
And a big win for Holder. It puts him on to 8, the 2012 world champion. Schmarzlik picks up a couple of important points as well. This is how it looks now, with Holder on 8, Schmarzlik on 7. Pawlicki is now on 6 points from his ride so far. But my goodness, it was all happening there.
It was. They were in it, weren't they? And they were giving it everything they'd got.
It was a race full of battlers.
It was. Yeah, it was. Certainly was action-packed. We see it again. Schmarzlik making a good start from gate 2, takes care of business, runs wide, and that relegates Holder to the back initially, with Pawlicki coming into second place. But Holder's got more speed. Pawlicki just leaves the door open as Schmarzlik makes that big mistake. They then, how on earth he stayed on? That was a minor miracle in itself. Pawlicki clouts the fence 2/3 of the way down the back straight, second time of asking. Watch this. Pawlicki now clouts the fence. How he stays on there is a miracle in itself. He's all out of shape. And then Schmarzlik and Pawlicki, they go at it hammer and tongs for the next 2 laps. Look, how did he stay on? That was remarkable. Certainly, both of them just going at it big time. Entertainment. Holder terrific. Really good ride from him. He was in the right place at the right time. And then Schmarzlik comes back into the picture, taking care of business, leaning all over Pawlicki. Brilliant ride from the young Polish boys in second and third. But Holder, 8 points, did you say, picking up after a disappointing ride last time. Great Speedway.
Brilliant ride by Holder. And what a lineup we have for heat number 14 now. This is a fantastic lineup. Heat 14 it is, and it's Jason Doyle going off the inside. All 4 of these riders have won heats tonight. Doyle off the inside, Greg Hancock going off gate number 2 in blue, Ty Woofenden gate 3 in white, and Peter Killerman off the outside. 2 world champions in Hancock and Woofenden. It's interesting, Woofenden says he's no longer the world champion in his mind. He gave that up over Christmas and the New Year. Well, he is still the reigning world champion. Let's see what can happen here. Heat number 14 it is. Referee and finger on the button. And it'll wait first time of asking, and Doyle's made a beauty off gate number 1. Hancock will try and cut up the inside. Woofenden is there as well. And now charging hard. Kellerman down the back straight. Woofenden shuts the door. Doyle has got the lead here. This race isn't over yet, folks, by a long way. Hancock's trying the inside run on Woofenden. But the lead is with Jason Doyle. From Ty Woofenden, from Greg Hancock, from Peter Killerman. But Woofenden is pushing Doyle hard now. And there's a battle on the back as Killerman comes through.
Super move from Killerman. Inside gate working brilliantly once again. Keep your eyes on Woofenden. He's running the inside with Doyle running high and wide, desperately trying to keep the speed in the motorbike. Doyle is bouncing back big time here. Change of equipment has worked big time, big dividends for the Australian. Hancock unbelievably is relegated to the back and is out of the picture. But Doyle, the Australian, world number 5, riding brilliantly out in front.
No one is dominating this meeting. It's wide open. Jason Doyle has recovered from a poor start to pick up 2 straight wins. And what a win it is for the Australian star, the world number 5. Moves him nicely onto 7 points, just with a little bit more work to do in his final ride. But that's a big boost for Jason Doyle.
Yeah, it is.
Second. Killerman blasted his way past Greg Hancock, who couldn't cope and went to the back. But that was a fine race again. Heat number 14, a little less dramatic than the previous one.
Only a touch, but certainly
still good.
Absolutely, yeah, terrific Speedway. The Australian flag being waved proudly there, because no question that Doyle really rode a stormer. What a lineup it was. What a race to win. 3 points for Doyle. Back-to-back heat wins for him. He's looking good.
Yeah, Doyle the race winner, Woofenden second, Killerman was third. This is what it means now. Holder, Killerman and Woofenden all on 8 points, and you fancy them to go through now to the semi-finals, Kelvin?
You do indeed. It was super stuff. Holder in the previous race was outstanding. Jason Doyle, another Australian, of course, is coming to the party to join his compatriot. We'll see it again. The inside gate for Doyle works a treat. Inexplicably, I don't quite know what's gone on here with Hancock. because Hancock looked unbeatable in his previous 2 rides, fails to score this time. Woofenden, the world champion, in second place, rides strongly, but there is no answer for Doyle. Doyle, who owned 1 point from 2 rides, picks up 6 in his next 2. That is outstanding effort from the Australian, looking set for the semi-finals. Woofenden working hard, a little bit up and down. You're dead right, Nigel. Nobody's dominating this meeting. It is wide open. But Jason Doyle here, really showing his class. Plenty of speed out in front. Kilderman charging round the outside of Hancock. Passes him sweetly down the back straight to steal the point away from the American. But it's Doyle's race. Super ride from him.
Yeah, really has come good. 7 points. Ty Woofenden on 8. Doyley's saying he should have started with the engine he's on now, the bike he's on now.
But at least they did it. They didn't wait too long. 2 rides. You've got to give the bike a second run sometimes just to confirm that you're right. But fortunately, it's paid massive dividends. 6 out of 6 in his last 2, on the cusp of the semi-finals for the Australian.
Yeah, good stuff indeed as we build up to Heat 15. The whistles and the boos are for Nicky Pedersen. You're wasting your time, folks.
Won't
it's
worry
water
him.
off a duck's back.
Won't worry him. It's something that inspires him in actual fact. It drives him on. He's in this meeting. He never knows when he's beaten that man.
Lindgren going off the inside then with Harris off 2, Pedersen off 3. And Mats Janowski is needing points now after an encouraging start. He's off the outside. Here we go. Heat number 15. Hammer away first time, and Lindgren's made a good one off the inside gate. And now coming right up the inside is Harris, but through in yellow, Janowski. He's picked his moment superbly. Oh, and he's hit the fence as well. Goodness me. Janowski has the lead. Lindgren is in red. Nicky Pedersen is third. Nicky Pedersen's holding the white line. Chris Harris training in the back right now. That's how it is going into lap 2.
Oh.
And the battle is on with Lindgren and Janowski.
Janowski, a great move in the first corner to fire himself to the front. Then Lindgren was looking for a way through as Janowski bounced off the fence as they went into turn 3 on the opening lap. Lindgren keeping Janowski on his side in front. Good response from Janowski. He was poor in his last ride. The Swedish rider in second place is really forcing on in second place. Nicky Pedersen's outpaced back in third. Bit of a concern from him, and Harris out the back. Just over a lap to go, Nige. Janowski looking good.
Well, I did say on the start line that it was a big ride for Janowski. Lindgren's really putting the pressure on now down the back straight. That probably is the last throw of the dice, or is there more to come from Freddie Lindgren? Nicky Pedersen third. That's how it is. Down to the line we go. Janowski's good enough. Good ride, just when he needed it most. Mats Janowski takes the victory, his second win of the night. Freddie Lindgren tried everything there. He threw everything at Mats Janowski. But Nicky Pedersen, on his second bike, doesn't quite seem to have the pace, it has to be said, after that crash earlier. But it's a point for Pedersen, and that puts him on to 8, alongside Holder and Kilderman.
I think the track conditions have changed a little bit. It's got a lot cooler. They have put water on the track. I think it's a little bit greasy. And all of a sudden, some riders are finding grip a major problem. Here's the result, Nigel.
Yep, Janowski the winner. Lindgren was second and Pedersen third. And that means that Lindgren moves on to 6 points. And he's just outside the top 8. Nicky's on 8 with Ty, Peter and Chris, 8 points apiece. And look how tight that is. 2 points between a host of riders, 8, 7 and 6. Super stuff. Lindgren really worked hard there, but a fine win indeed from Janowski off the outs. Look at this move, Kel.
Great move in the first corner from Janowski. Just gets that little bit of grip at the right moment, then clouts the fence again. Nearly loses it all as they go into the turn 3 on the opening lap. 3 consecutive second places for Freddie Lindgren, who made a good start, runs a touch wide, leaves the door open for Janowski, who took full advantage, but it was quite tight there. Lindgren comes on strong, pushing hard in second place, keeping Janowski right up to his work. Important ride for Janowski. Failed to score in the previous ride, so showed a lot of composure to come back from gate 4 and pick up 3 points. Good speed weight.
So we move on to heat number 16. After this race, every rider will have completed 4 rides. So it's an important race for Niels Christian Iversen on the inside with 3 points to his name. Jonsson's on 3, Zagar's on 3, Lindback is on 4. This is a big heat for these boys,
Yeah,
Cal.
vital race for all 4 riders, desperate for points. A heat win here would give them the outside chance of a semi-final spot with 1 ride remaining. The lineup:
Iversen, Jonsson, Zagar and Lindback is the way it is across the grid. 3 points apiece for the boys off the inside, and when you see so many riders now on 8, 7 and 6, at the top we've got, what, 10 riders on 8, 7 and 6, 10 riders with 2 points between them. This is a huge race. Whoever wins this will be in the hunt for a semi-final place. The losers might just be out of reach.
Yeah, could well be. So an opportunity for somebody here to give themselves a chance for a top 8. Iversen probably in the box seat on the inside.
Now going into that first turn, can Iversen make gate 1 count? Iversen has got to take Lindback wide. Lindback now and up the inside. Oh, down the back straight. It is so tight and Lindback has come through. Zagar is third. Now Iversen is going to take up the challenge. Iversen now trying to take Lindback wide, but it's Lindback with the lead. From Iversen second, Zagar is third, and trailing at the back right now is Andreas Jonsson. But Iversen is trying everything here, Kel.
Super first corner there with Lindback coming out on top. Got to say, Iversen's pushing really hard up the inside of Lindback. Awfully tight, very little to choose between them. Lindback hanging on by the skin of his teeth out in front. Iversen now switching to the outside. No, he's lost ground there. Lindback certainly just about hanging on. Iversen now building up, building speed, chopping back to the inside. Can he get there? There's a lap to go. Working really hard in second place.
Yep, now onto a vital last lap. Lindback has that lead.
He's got it.
Yep, it's a big, big result for Antonio Lindback. And it does mean that Niels Christian Iversen will be on to 5 points now and will probably need a win from his last ride. Big win for Antonio Lindback. And that is massive for him.
Wow, what a ride that was. Really needed it. It was a tough, tough first corner with Iversen pushing hard on the inside and then Lindback responding brilliantly to get the better of the Danish rider. Lindback back in the Grand Prix showing terrific speed there. Hugely talented rider. Consistency has been his problem in the past. Comes up with a vital win, giving himself a chance at the semi-finals.
And that exclusion could be costly for the home favourite Zagar. He's only on 4. Lindback, Iversen, Zagar and Jonsson. 16 gone now, 4 to go before the semi-finals. And we see Zagar in 13th place. The leaders on 8, Holder, Killerman, Woofenden and Pedersen.
2 points go to Denmark, Niels Christian Iversen. 1 point, Matej Slovenia.
Oh, it's really building up nicely now. Smashing ride there from Lindback. Got to give him a lot of credit because he has a lot of pressure throughout the 4 laps. Iversen doesn't really jump and then the bike gets to the first corner and just Lindback has that, oh, crikey, he does well to hang on to the bike there as it lifts. He rides through that, keeps the bike going in the right direction and fires himself to the front down the back straight. Iversen then coming on strong on the inside of the Swedish rider, but the Swede resists that challenge from the Dane in second place and picks up a hugely important win. Iversen has had a hard time tonight. He's got inside gate for his last ride. He desperately needs a heat win if he wants to make the semis tonight. Disappointment for Jonsson out the back and Zagar in third place. But good speedway between the Scandinavians in first and second.
Yeah, some real brave racing tonight. You've got to put it on the line. And we have seen some pretty breathtaking stuff, Kel.
Yeah, on 1 or 2 occasions it has taken your breath away. And there's no doubt Lindback has given himself a chance. Well, super ride from Lindback there. You've got to say that he really dug in and gave his best and it proved to be good enough. Iversen was the one that just lost out there. Didn't quite get away from the tapes as well as he would have liked, and Lindback from the outside had that little bit of extra room, was able to sweep around the outside. Decent speedway, meeting really beginning to build up. Plenty of pressure on everybody concerned here.
Let's hear from Antonio Lindback now. He's with Steve Brandon. Yeah, it is good to see him back, and it was a hard-fought win, and he puts him on to 7, just outside the top 8 on the countback system. But these next 4 heats are going to be fascinating, Kelvin.
Yes, they will be, and Antonio Lindback, who goes out of gate 3 now. Still with work to do, of course, with Pavlicki, Woofenden and Nicky Pedersen to race, so doesn't get any easier, does it? That's an awfully competitive heat 17 coming up.
Well, Chris Holder, what a race he was involved
Brilliant.
in. Goodness me, he was all over the place at one stage, taken wide, and what a win in the end. Let's hear about it with Steve Brandon.
Lucky enough, I was there to capitalise, so you know, I took it both hands. The track was really overbooked. It's starting to be in front of when that bad this time. Yeah, every race is so important. You know, everybody here can beat everyone. It's so tight. So if you have a bad race, you keep it together and just get on to the next one. But it's, you know, it's quite easy to go down once. But if you can bang out a few wins, give yourself a bit of, you know, get started.
You're ready in the blue race jacket, but hit 20 a long way away, really. You're going to have to keep watching what's happening, make sure the setup's exactly right.
Yeah, my bike there was quite good. It was, you know, it was big, a lot of water on it, so it was difficult, but I had some speed, so that's good. But yeah, being in hit 20, it's going to be a lot of dirt out there, and just got to, you know, keep an eye on it, and hopefully, you know, use up all the gate 2 and there's something good there waiting for me.
Keep watching, thanks.
Yeah, smashing stuff from Chris Holder.
It's good to see him back, I think, Kelvin, in this kind of form.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a world-class rider, a former world champion, and he's had a tough time, but he's bounced back. Hancock, of course, disappointing last ride. After 2 really outstanding rides, just a slightly confusing performance in his last one. But the track did look a little greasy, and as the temperature goes down, combined with the fact that it's a little bit greasy out there, that's not the greatest combination, and possibly Hancock just got caught out about that. Plenty of work to be done. This meeting is wide open, absolutely wide open, and a crucial last ride coming up for these boys before the semi-finals.
Yeah, the next 4 heats are going to be absolutely crucial.
Vital, and you know, for riders that are in on 8 points at the moment, like Holder, Kilderman, Woofenden, still need to move on. 3 points here may just give you the edge going into the semi-finals with a good gate pick, because there's no doubt that certain gates have worked a lot better than others. Pedersen has picked himself off the floor, preparing himself for his last ride. He's out in heat 17 from the outside.
Yes, and could well be fireworks in these last 4 heats before the semi-finals. I just get the feeling there's more drama to come, Kelv.
Oh, there is, and as I say, you just sense as we're getting to the pointy end of the meeting where it really matters, riders are beginning to push harder and harder and take a few more risks. Bike setup generally seems to have been a major challenge for all concerned this evening, with the track not quite the same as yesterday, and with the temperature dropping and a little bit of water on the track. That combination has been a real challenge for the crews in the pits. But to all intents and purposes, everybody's been struggling with that.
And a big response from Matt Sijanowski in his last ride. He's with Steve now.
Nič Škorja, Protetotočka in Matic Ivačič še brez osvojene točke ga ne nastopijo.
So an important phase of the meeting to come now with these last 4 heats of the regular 20 before we go into the semi-finals and the final, and you do feel that it is all building up nicely. Change of bike for Pawlicki. This is heat 17. Points needed for Pawlicki and Limbach, you feel. Wolfenden and Pedersen are on 8 points each, and because it's so tight, they might just need a point as well.
Absolutely. It's one of those nights where even if you're at the top of the charts on 8 points, you cannot rest on your laurels. Be interesting to see if Pawlicki's change of equipment. I'm not sure he has or not. I'm looking at the bike. I'm not sure if that is a fresh one or not, but he's alongside the world champion in gate 2. Pedersen off the outside. Limbach going off gate 3 in the previous race was very impressive and picked up a vital win. So hugely important, hugely competitive heat 17. Nothing to give here. You've got to be right on top of your game.
So here we go then with heat number 17, a big race coming up with Piotr Pawlicki off the inside, Ty Wolfenden off 2, Antonio Limbach off 3, and Nicky Pedersen off the outside. Pawlicki and Limbach needing points, and you do feel that Wolfenden and Pedersen might just need some as well, because with the countback system, depending on how the results go over the next 4 heats, 8 points may be enough, 8 points may not be enough. It's a vital race, and all these next 4 heats are going to be crucial, Kelvin.
They are indeed, and as I said, you cannot rest on your laurels. You're going to need every point, and so the pick for the semi-finals.
Well, the text went up really quickly there, and it's Pawlicki who's the beneficiary of the inside gate. Limbach's going high and wide now. Limbach wide, Pedersen comes through into 3rd.
Oh! How on earth did he get round the outside? Limbach charged so hard, got the better of Pawlicki. He's out in front, the Swedish rider inspired. Wolfenden's out the back. He now charges round the outside. Pawlicki in 2nd place. Wolfenden gains nothing by that move, but what a move from Antonio Limbach to get himself to the front.
Yep, Limbach has the advantage now. Pawlicki 2nd, Pedersen is 3rd. Wolfenden is going to try the inside, and then he'll try the outside switch to try and get round the better of Nicky Pedersen. Every point absolutely vital now. This last place might cause trouble for Wolfenden. You never know, because Limbach is going to move on to double figures here. Pawlicki 2nd, Pedersen 3rd. Wolfenden now has to try the inside line going into the last lap. Now he'll switch to the outside, but Limbach riding the perfect line, riding quite beautifully. Wolfenden is well adrift at the back. Looks like he's going to miss out in this one. Pawlicki 2nd, Pedersen is 3rd, and down to the line for a crucial heat 17.
Wow.
Antonio Limbach back in the Grand Prix Series, and he has ridden the wheels off that bike.
What a ride from Antonio Limbach. No wonder he is celebrating in style there. What a move it was. He clouts the fence down the straight, gets himself to the front, gets the better of Pawlicki. The two ex-world, or the world champion and the ex-world champion, struggling back in 3rd and 4th place. Antonio Limbach on his return to the series comes up with 2 dramatic heat wins. Heat 17 going the way of the Swedish rider, giving himself a great position to go into the semi-finals. Pedersen on to 9 points, but Wolfenden will have to be patient. Will 8 points be enough for him?
May not be. We'll find out over the next 3 heats. Antonio Limbach moves on to 10. Nicky Pedersen on 9. Who knows how precious that point might be for Nicky Pedersen now as well. Wolfenden and Pawlicki on 8 points apiece. But they'll have a nervous wait now to establish exactly whether they've done enough. It's not just on race wins either necessarily. It could come down to a who beat who in the head-to-head. There we see the start of heat 17.
They said again, and it's a reasonably even break with Pawlicki making the best of it into the first corner. But here comes Antonio Limbach round the outside, not much room. Just squeezes up against the fence, a little bit of contact between the 2 riders as they go into turns 3 on the opening lap. Again, we see it. Gate 3 isn't the greatest start either, and the Swedish boy really takes advantage. Look how close that was. They do touch. It could have been curtains down the back straight for both of those boys, but they get away with it. Wolfenden out in the back. He threw everything at Nicky Pedersen to try and steal a point off of him. Super ride between those 2 boys out in front. Great stuff from Antonio Limbach on his return to the series. Look at that, finishing with the outside 2 gates and picks up 6 points from them. Pawlicki with the exclusion. Well, he'll have to wait. 8 points may or may not be enough. It's going to be awfully, awfully tight. Brilliant speedway, though, from Lindback.
Yeah, superb. Pretty special racing here in the last few heats. Drama all the way. Every point fought for. Iversen, Doyle, Stoy and Lindgren. Now, Iversen needs points. In fact, they all need points. Stoy's out of contention, but the other three boys are still in with a shout here.
Well, a heat
so
win.
This is going to be something special.
It is. There's no question of that. Iversen for the second time goes off the inside gate. Can he take advantage? Looks like Doyle, who has had two super rides in his last couple of heats. Brilliant stuff from him. Lindgren steady with 3 second places. Here we go.
Here we go then, heat number 18, and Iversen has made a beauty off the inside gate. He needs to as well. The man in blue goes wide there, Jason Doyle, in the blue helmet colour. Second place might do for him. Third in yellow is Freddie Lindgren. But Niels Christian Iversen, well, this will put him onto 8 points as well. And this will just bunch up even further the score charts going into the last couple of heats to decide who makes the semi-finals. Iversen now looks to have the race under control. Jason Doyle in second spot. That'll do him to move on to 9 points. Go level with Nicky Pedersen. Third in yellow is Freddie Lindgren. That won't be enough for him. That'll put him on to 7. And Stoy is out of contention at the back, but Iversen is riding beautifully here, Cal.
Yeah, once he's got his nose in front, Nigel, he looks a completely different rider. Made a great start that time. The bike really did far forward off the inside. Doyle is sitting in second place. Lindgren, it won't be enough. 7, I just don't think will give him any chance at all in the semi-finals. In actual fact, 8 points possibly with countbacks and all sorts of different permutations. That also may not be enough, but a heat win does help you, and Iversen's going to get one right now.
Big ride from Niels Christian Iversen off the inside gate. How much did he need that?
Oh.
Big time with Jason Doyle second. Freddie Lindgren was third, and Dennis Stoy, his night comes to an end with a point, but my goodness, Jason Doyle scored 8 from his last 3 rides.
Brilliant.
After managing just 1 from his first 2. What a turnaround for Doyle. That was a big race win for him, and Niels Christian Iversen onto 8 points as well. Freddie Lindgren has worked hard for 7, but alas, not going to be enough for Lindgren tonight.
No, not tonight, but Iversen has given himself an outside chance. I still think that riders like Woofenden, Iversen and 1 or 2 others are going to have to wait to see how the cards fall, but Iversen, very useful 3 points for him.
Yep, very much so, and Doyle, you see, rockets up to second in the World Championship meeting, the opening meeting of the year. 9 points for Doyle. Iversen moves into the top 8 on 8, and Hancock drops out, but look at all those riders on 7. With Hancock, Yudowski and Smarslik still with a ride apiece.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still plenty to race for right now. Iversen will have to be patient to see how it falls out. Frustration for him because this time, look at the bike, this time it fires forward. In the previous race when he was on gate 1, it spun up and he didn't get the run he needed and got beaten and dropped a point. He was comfortable out in front, really came under not too much pressure at all. Doyle doesn't quite get away, just missed it off gate 2, but then it's tough in the first corner with Freddie Lindgren getting the better of Stoyce to get into 3rd place. Fairly straightforward race from that point in, but the bottom line is that Iversen on 8 points, alongside Ty Woofenden as well, the world champion. He'll have to wait. Piotr Pawlicki, again another rider on 8 points. It is also awfully tight. We'll be very interested to see who makes the semi-finals.
Yep, it's going to be fascinating now over these next couple of heats. Couple of big races coming up. It's all bunched up very tight. Talk about gate positions and what gate positions are advantageous, but we have seen some wonderful riding as well from riders in the early stages. Killerman from the outside gate wasn't fancied, but somehow managed to squeeze through. You really have to work hard on this track.
Indeed you do. You need a bit of good fortune, but certainly hard work pays dividends. Antonio Lindbeck coming out of gate 3 in heat 17. What a ride that was. Brilliant effort from him.
Harris off the inside, Smarslik on 2, Hancock going off gate 3. Andreas Jonsson goes off the outside gate in yellow, out of contention. He's only got 3 points to his name tonight. He'll be disappointed with that after the point scoring that he's been putting in so far in the UK. With some big points for Jonsson. Heat number 19 it is then here.
Yeah, well, a big ride for Hancock after looking nigh on unbeatable in 2 rides. Inexplicably ran a last in his previous race. Smarslick will be a major danger in gate 2. There's no doubt about that. He'll be giving everything. Johnson, can he find something on the outside?
Wow, Greg Hancock very nervy at the start and the red lights have got on. Not surprised to see that. It looked to me as though Greg Hancock moved slightly at the start. Don't think he touched the tapes, but the referee will take another look.
Pressure on. 7 points to his name. He knows he needs a big ride here. He focuses on making good starts. A touch eager there. We'll see it again. Yes, just moving fractionally before the tapes go up. Gains an advantage. And the referee putting the red light on and immediately pulling the race back. Just gives you an indication how competitive this meeting is, Nigel. Points are so hard to come by. Everybody's stealing points off one another. Slightly unusual that, but conditions are playing their part. There's no doubt about that. All 4 back, no exclusions. Bit of fuel in the tank. Few adjustments to the rear chain. Check the clutch. Refocus your energies now. Vital times.
It's all 4, but there is an official warning for Greg Hancock as well.
No surprise there.
After
Clearly
that
moving,
incident.
wasn't he?
Yeah, but also gate 3 isn't the best, and surely Greg knows that, and maybe that's contributed to his anxiety.
Absolutely, it's playing on his mind, although Lindback did make a smashing start from there in heat 17. And Greg is, you know, one of the best, if not the best starter in the world. And he'll be trying to replicate something special like he produced in these earlier outings, but that was off gate 1, and he really was unbeatable there. But yeah, these are tense times, really tense times. Ideally, you'd like to be in the comfort zone going into your 5th ride prior to the semi-finals. You'd be hoping that you've got enough points on the board to be able to just exploit this race. But for so many riders in these last 4 races, with, you know, they're in touch of the semi-finals, with not much to choose between riders this evening. Every race, every moment of every race is really tension-packed, isn't it?
Certainly is. A lot riding on every race. Of course, it is only the opening round of the World Championship. We do move on to Warsaw, the Stadion Narodowe, in a couple of weeks' time. Looking forward to that. And we'll try again here with Chris Harris, Bartosz Smarslik, Greg Hancock and Andreas Jonsson. Hancock under a warning, remember, from the referee, Artur Kuszmarek, on his Grand Prix debut tonight. Kuszmarek, Greg Hancock's Grand Prix debut, the first ever GP in 1995. And has only ever missed 1 in history. Quite a record.
Remarkable record, and still chasing for another World Championship. 4 World Championships that would make would be quite remarkable. And when you consider there was 14 years between the first and the second championship, that in itself is a remarkable stat. Here we go.
Second time around it. Under away satisfactory this time. Hancock hits the turn. Hancock from gate number 3 does it magnificently. Jonsson trying the outside run here in yellow, and charging hard in blue is Bartosz Smarslik, the pole. Coming through, a point would put him on to 8 points, but this will do Greg Hancock quite beautifully. Jonsson's having a real go. Jonsson is out of contention for a semi-final spot, but looking to restore some pride after 3 points tonight.
Indeed he is. He's coming on strong. Every championship point is vital. Keep your eyes on Smarslik as well. He's in amongst it. It's here. No way that Hancock is pulling here. He's certainly spinning up. There's more speed from Jonsson. Jonsson up the inside. Andreas Jonsson's got himself to the front. What a ride from the Swede. Is anything? Can Hancock respond? No, he can't. Brilliant ride from AJ.
Well, what a ride from Jonsson, and now Hancock's coming back for more. Jonsson has plenty of speed here, though. Goes on one wheel into the turn. Does that allow Hancock the opportunity to nip up the inside? Jonsson is going to double his score to 6. And Greg Hancock here now looks like he's going to have to settle for 2 points to put him on to 9. Smarslik, he will finish on 8 points tonight. Man in red, Chris Harris at the back. His night finishes on 3 points tonight. But Smarslik has to settle for a point. And what a ride for Andreas Jonsson,
wow.
One of the races of the night.
Where did that come from? Really had been out of sorts all evening. Suddenly comes up with a superstar performance to get the better of Hancock, who was struggling for speed out in front. Earlier this evening, he was jet propelled. Suddenly can't get the grip, can't quite get the speed. Super ride for Andreas Jonsson, something to console himself after a difficult evening.
Very much so. That's the finishing order. And now, as we look at the score chart, well, Janowski is out in the next one, and he really is the only rider now who can eliminate Woffenden or Iversen from the top 8. So it's all about Janowski in the next race. But what a race this was, heat number 19.
Yeah, great performance. You thought that second time of asking, of course, with a warning to Hancock, who makes a textbook start out of gate 3, and from this moment on you would have thought that the race was his, but Andres Johnson has other ideas. Quite clearly some changes to the setup, and it works a treat. They'll be frustrated in that camp because he rides very well here, finds the speed, finds the setup, and gets the better of the American out in front. Schmarslik is not far away at all. He's pushing on, but Andres Johnson with 6 points to his name, he will be feeling now what might have been. If they'd got that a little earlier, he could well have been making his way through to the semi-finals because he's ridden really nicely here. Hancock again probably is into the semi-finals. It's so tight, really difficult to know who's going to end up in the semi-finals, but a super ride for the Swedes.
Well, Hancock, Doyle and Pedersen are assured on 9 points apiece. Holder will get through because he's got 2 race wins, as will Killerman.
Yeah.
It's just a question now of Woffenden and Iversen. They'll be a little bit nervous because they've got 1 race win apiece. Woffenden and Iversen, 1 race win each, and then it goes down to the head-to-head. Who beats who in terms of Ty Woffenden and Niels Christian Iversen. If Janowski gets a couple of points on the board here.
Kilderman also on 8 points coming into the race. He will need at least a point to be absolutely certain. He's got a couple of race wins also, which will help, of course. Holder again has ridden well. Last time out, Holder was supreme, getting the opportunity to get himself to the front. Janowski, a little uncomfortable, but he's on the best gate.
Here we go, heat number 20. Super start from Maciej Matzy, Janowski off the inside gate. Holder goes wide, and that allows up the inside. Matzy Zagar battling away, but Holder round the back straight now. Superb. Killerman is third and almost wipes out Zagar in the process. But it was a great start here from this man in the red helmet colour, Matzy Janowski. Chris Holder holds second. It hit double figures if it stays like this. And Peter Killerman will move on to 9, and that will do him nicely anyway. He's pretty secure in the semis as it is. And by my reckoning, this result would put Iversen out and Woffenden would be in. But still battling his Holder.
Oh, Holder's fast, really fast in second place. Janowski's having to ride defensively now because Holder keeps picking up so much speed. Great start from the inside from the Polish boy, but look at Chris Holder. Holder really riding brilliantly here this evening. Last time out he was really fast. Once again with a lap to go, he's looking for a way through. Janowski's going to have eyes in the back of his head. Kilderman in third place, moving on to 9. If he stays there, that'll be ideal for him. Janowski, this is a big ride. The last corner should hang on.
Yeah, it's a great ride from Matzy Janowski, just when he needed it most. Chris Holder in second place. Peter Killerman was third. Now we have to go down to the countback to establish the situation regarding the top 8 here in Kushko tonight. We'll have that confirmed. It has to be confirmed by the FIM jury as well before official confirmation. But certainly with Ty Woffenden beating Niels Christian Iversen on the countback, that may be enough for him. But as I say, it's subject to confirmation, so we'll certainly confirm that for you in a matter of seconds. But a big win for Matzy Janowski there. It's a great ride from him, and puts him on to 10 points, and the 3 riders at the top on 10 points apiece. Janowski, Holder and Lindback, 10 points each. They lead going into the semi-finals.
Well, it's been an interesting night, and terrific ride from Maciej Janowski there to top the charts on 10 points, using the last 2 rides, gate 4 and gate 1, picking up 6 points. He'll be seeing it again. I thought for a moment that Chris Holder was going to get the better of him here. Chris has had a lot of speed all night and was looking for a way through. You can see the bike really driving hard outside in the dirt. Really spectacular stuff. Kilderman then gets the better of Zagar. That point will do him well. Just secures his top 8 place. He'll be safely through to the semi-finals. But there's no doubt that Maciej Janowski didn't have the speed of Chris Holder, but he rides a clever line. And that makes it really hard work for the Australian back in second place, and he can't quite get there, but Janowski through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, fine ride indeed. Well done to Maciej Janowski. Almost a shake of the head and putting his arms up as if to say, why did that not happen all night? He's got 3 race wins to his name.
No,
and by virtue of that, he leads the Grand Prix. He'll have the first favourable pick in the
absolutely.
semi-finals.
He's finished with a rattle, hasn't he? You know, the 2 back-to-back wins have been ideal for him, and a pick for the semi-finals will be hugely important. Another little break now while we wait for riders to prepare themselves for the gate picks for the semi-finals. It's been an interesting night. We are confirmed, I think, for the top 8. Or are we still waiting for confirmation between Woffinden and Iversen?
It's certainly from our calculations, but we need it from the FIM jury to be absolutely sure.
Yeah, but it's looking like the world champion may just have squeaked into the semi-finals.
Go and watch him win it now if that happens.
Yes, it's true. Could well go on and win the meeting, but that last ride out the back, he did work very hard and just failed to score points. Interesting speedway meeting, there's no doubt about that. Setup has been at a premium.
Yeah, very much so. So it's certainly very, very appetising semi-final lineup coming up. We'll confirm that for you, and we'll have the draw for the semi-finals very shortly. What's it like down in the pits, the atmosphere, the tension, Steve Brandon?
People are using fingers, abacuses, calculators and all sorts. I think the top 7 in my book are pretty clear cut, but in the order is difficult to figure out. But all the guys on 8 at the moment probably sweating quite a lot at the minute. Piotr Pawlicki probably the unlucky one in that bunch at the moment when he's going to work out who beat who from the others, but he had the exclusion. So we'll see what happens when we get the final result from the referee.
Yeah, the referee and the jury, the FIM jury, I have to confirm that as well. We have the FIM race secretary as well. They'll all be comparing notes.
Yeah, difficult one, and obviously they'll be furiously working that out. I'm sure there's plenty of tension in the pits, in actual fact, because certainly at this stage of the meeting, with it being so tight, making decisions at this time, everybody under massive pressure, so easy to get it wrong right now. And we have seen riders go from winning races quite comfortably to actually then struggling to actually get amongst the points. And I think that's been typified by the world champion this evening. He has found points hard to come by.
Girls are ready for the draw, the pick, if you like. Just waiting for the final official verdict in terms of who is in for the semi-finals here, the opening semi-finals of the season. But we've seen some good racing. We've seen some pretty exciting action.
It's been good. You know, there's been moments that really have been extraordinary. You know, Peter Kilderman's move, the race with Chris Holder and the 2 Polish boys was pretty exciting stuff. It's a chilly evening now. Riders just preparing themselves. Of course, there are some tense moments there with all those riders looking over their shoulders, probably with all the 8 points. Steve Brandon mentioning Piotr Pawlicki could be the one to lose out here, miss out because of his exclusion. I can't work it out, but fortunately it's not my decision. It's the FIM that will have to confirm the positions for, or the last spot, as it were, for the top 8 tonight.
Yep, it's coming through very shortly. The confirmation of the top 8. We'll get that for you as soon as the officials have confirmed it, and also the draw for the semi-finals. So we will have the draw for you very shortly. Indeed, a reminder, a couple of weeks tonight, we'll be in Warsaw, the Stadion Narodowe, where it all went wrong last year, it has to be said, but
yes,
everybody determined to make it right this time around. So we're looking forward to that. Here's confirmation then, breaking news. Confirmation of the top 8. It's as I suspected. Ty Woffinden gets that 8th spot on countback ahead of Iversen. 4 riders on 8 points apiece. Janowski, Holder, Lindback, Doyle, Hancock, Killerman, Pedersen and Woffinden. 1, 2, 3, 4 world champions of the 8 semi-finalists. Let's head to Steve Brandon now.
Thanks, gentlemen. Here we go with the draw. So Maciej Janowski is going to be the first man up tonight to pick. So here he comes now, hobbling along. Be interesting. I don't think there's going to be too many surprises. He's going to take gate 1 after his last ride in heat 20. Second man to pick up tonight, Jason Doyle, rescued his night after a very slow start. Thinking, and he's going to go for a little bit of a dabble around the outside. So Jason Doyle's going to be in yellow. Peter Killerman, another slow start, of another good performance from there. He's in gate 2 in blue. And last pick, Nicky Pedersen picked himself up from that crash, and he's got Buckley's choice, but he's got white in gate 3. So there's semi-final 1. So we've got Matt Janowski in red, Peter Kilderman in blue, Nicky Pedersen in white, and Jason Doyle in yellow. And here we go, riders are all ready, and here we go with Chris Holder's going to be the first man up to make his pick now. And no surprises, straight for gate 1 for Chris Holder. Antonio Lindback, great finish to the meeting from him. Back-to-back wins. And he comes all the way to the other end, and gate 4 in yellow for Antonio. Great winning from that heat in heat 16. The old master, Greg Hancock. What's he going to choose when he comes forward now? He's wearing a white race jacket, but that won't give too much away at the moment. Great start out of great start out of gate 3 in his last ride, and he's taking gate 3 again. So Greg Hancock going to be in white, and the man with no choice at all is going to come forward. Maybe he guessed he's got the blue race jacket on as well, but there he is, world champion Ty Woofenden in gate 2 in blue. So there's second semi-final lineup confirmed. We've got Chris Holder, 2012 world champion in red, Ty Woofenden, the reigning world champion in blue, Greg Hancock, the old master, another 3-time world champion in white, and last but not least, the man returning to the series, Antonio Lindback in yellow and yellow on the outside. Back to you guys.
Such a shame for Iversen, Smarslik and Pavlitsky, who finished on 8, and particularly the way Smarslik and Pavlitsky started the meeting. They won heats 1 and 3, and they just haven't made the semi-finals. Well, Grand Prix Speedway can be harsh.
Yeah, well, Pavlicki has been punished because of the exclusion, Nigel.
Yep.
You know, he had 5 points from 2 rides and unfortunately touched the tapes. And that actually has really... He's been the master of his own downfall there, hasn't he? Because if he picked up 1 point, he'd be in the semi-finals, and that's a great shame for him. Woofenden's just scraped through. Still wide open. You know, the inside gate has been comfortably the better one with 10 heat wins from there and only 2 from gate 2 and 2 from gate 3. But when it comes to the semi-finals and the final, quite often those stats go right out the window. And you can see people racing and winning from everywhere. So here we go, semi-final number 1.
Riders make their way out for the first semi-final here in Kushko. Been a good start to the World Championship Series. I think it's a sign of things to come, the way the boys put it on the line, take each other out, and have really got stuck in tonight.
Absolutely.
Ruthless at times.
And I think it's also indicative of what we're going to be seeing, and the fact that this lineup for this year's World Championship is so competitive. And when you see the quality of Smarslik and Pavlicki missing out just by the skin of their teeth, Iversen, world number 4, just missing out on 8 points. Everybody being able to beat everybody. You know, you are going to have to be right on top of your game to make the semi-finals and to be consistent.
First semi-final of the season. It's the FIM Speedway Grand Prix World Championship, the Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Coming up. It's going to be tense. It's going to be tight into that first turn. Semi-final 1 is on the way. Semi-final time here in Slovenia with Matt Janowski off the inside, Peter Killerman off 2, Nicky Pedersen off 3, Jason Doyle off the outside. 1 point splits 4 riders here. Janowski on 10 and the other 3 on 9 points apiece, and over the 8 semi-finalists, 2 points separates them. Woofenden, the sole rider who qualifies on 8, the rest on 9s and 10s. That's how tight it's been. It's wide open, and Kelvin, tough to call a winner.
Very much so, yes, it is wide open. It's a very competitive night. Everybody's able to beat everybody else. When you see the scores there, 15-point maximum has not been achieved at all. Janowski's tops with 3 heat wins on 10 points. He's in the box seat on the inside. Can he get through to the final?
Here we go, semi-final one. It's all very tense at the start. Killerman and Janowski, and from the outside, Doyle. Oh my goodness me, that's a great swoop from Jason Doyle. Gate number 4 has done the trick for him. Second in blue is Peter Killerman, and now Nicky Pedersen has come through into 3rd place, and Mats Janowski, our first choice, has gone. Killerman now battling with Doyle into the second lap. Oh, is somebody going to go?
Oh!
Killerman has the lead.
Brilliant stuff from Peter Kilderman. What a start it was from Doyle. Doyle had the second pick, chose to go from the outside. Was brilliant on the opening lap, but Kilderman, the bike working so well on the inside. Doyle coming back for more. Janowski's the loser here. He's out the back. The inside gate hasn't worked. But Peter Kilderman, his record in Grand Prix is outstanding. Looking like he's going to make the final again this evening. The Dane out in front. The Aussie back in second place. Pedersen, has he got anything to say with a lap to go?
Yep, 1 lap to go, and Peter Killerman, who is in his 14th Grand Prix of his career, is going to make his 6th final.
Wow.
What a staggering stat that is.
It is.
Killerman is going to take the win. He's on his way through to the final. Jason Doyle just about holds the line. He has qualified for only the 3rd final of his career in 13 outings. Doyle and Kilderman, and what a ride from Kilderman. He's a tough old boy, that lad.
He is indeed. There was no way he'd be denied. Coming through to complete the first lap, he was up the inside of Doyle. Doyle was trying to close the door, but Kilderman's a tough customer. He kept pushing as they went into the first corner for the second time of asking. Kilderman stamped his authority on the first semi-final. Delighted to be through to the final. What a record this man has at this level of speedway. Really is quite remarkable to make so many finals from so few Grand Prix. Semi-final number 1 for Kilderman.
Killerman and Doyle are the riders through to the final. Pedersen and Janowski, well, their night is over. But what a race.
Super race.
Peter Killerman.
Yeah, Peter Kilderman had an outstanding performance earlier on when he split the Swedes down the back straight. Gets the better of a very impressive Jason Doyle. We'll see it again. Tapes are up. Janowski doesn't get away as he would have liked. The bike spins up. It doesn't get to the first corner. Then Doyle, what a start from the outside. He's clear coming across. He's able to clamp them down on the inside. But Kilderman, he then comes on strong. Bike working beautifully. Around the inside, Doyle can't believe it, just momentarily losing momentum. And that allows, look at Kilderman there. No way, I am coming through. Sorry, mate, that's going to be my win. There's no way you're going to stop me.
Was it naughty at all?
No, just tough Grand Prix Speedway, Nigel. That's World Championship Speedway at its best. Kilderman into the final, looking for another victory.
Jakob Olsen alongside him. Jakob, who had a brief career as a rider himself, but now a very successful businessman in Denmark. Owns a chain of bicycle shops, I do believe.
He does indeed.
And in Peter Killerman's pit corner, it's working a treat.
Well, of course, he won his first Grand Prix last year, and Horsens in his home country was a dramatic night of speedway, that one as well, with all sorts of drama going on. He's in the final, semi-final number 2.
3 world champions, that's all. And Antonio Lindback, it's not bad, is it?
Not bad at all.
Chris Holder off the inside. Ty Woffenden, who's just snuck in by the skin of his teeth. Gate 2 in blue. Greg Hancock, gate 3 in white. And Antonio Lindback off the outside in yellow. 3 of these riders, Holder, Woffenden and Hancock, have won every world championship from 2011 to the present day.
Very impressive indeed. What a lineup for semi-final number 2. Antonio Lindback will not be thinking about that too much, otherwise he'll be psyched out entirely. Doyle has got a smile in his face. He's through. Certainly he pushed hard. Kilderman just getting the better of him. Hancock coming out of gate 3. He chose to go there. That gives Woofenden gate 2. Holder on the inside. Here we go.
First semi-final it is then, and Holder has made a beauty off the inside gate. Now Woofenden's going to tuck inside, but that's going to allow Lindback and Hancock the outside run. Now Woofenden in danger of being caught down that back straight. The lead is with Chris Holder. Second place, Ty Woofenden. Third place is Antonio Lindback. Hancock now challenging for third on Lindback, going into lap 2. Holder looking good here, and Woofenden chasing all the way.
He is indeed. Chris Holder's been fast all night, and once again the inside gate, he's taken full advantage. Woofenden doesn't quite get there off gate 2, but he's fast. He's threatening in second place. He's creeping around the inside. He's looking for a way through. Hancock now gets the better of Lindback. He comes through in the third place. terrific action for first and second and third and fourth. Wolfenden coming on strong in second place. Nigel switches to the outside. Can he get the better of the Australian?
Well, he's got to be careful because he could have allowed Greg Hancock the opportunity to have a little nibble on the inside here. Here comes Hancock. Charges hard on the inside of Wolfenden. Holder's got the lead. Wolfenden is second. Third is Hancock. Lindback's out of contention. Into the last two turns we go. Wolfenden decides to hold the inside line. And it's Holder and Wolfenden who reached the final here in Slovenia. And Ty Wolfenden, who only got through to the semi-finals on countback, finishing level with Everson, Smarsvik and Pavlitsky, has made the final. But Chris Holder, absolutely magnificent. Good to see him back in the big time in a Grand Prix final, the 17th final of Chris Holder's career. And for Wolfenden now, the reigning world champion, the 19th final of his career in 48 appearances. Good stuff. Two semi-finals completed. We now know our finalists. Holder and Wolfenden will be up against Kilderman and Doyle in a mouth-watering final.
So we have the results of the second semi-finals. 3 points for Chris Holder. 2 points for Ty Wolfenden.
Well, 2 Australians through to the final this evening and fully deserved. Great to see Chris Holder back in the big time. The hard yards in the winter clearly paying big dividends in the opening round of the World Championship. Makes a textbook start off the inside. Just comes off the line. Antonio Lindback and Greg Hancock stuck in traffic. Wolfenden looked threatening in second place but couldn't find a way through. Clever riding from the former world champion, 2012 world champion from Chris Holder. Absolutely delighted to see him riding so well this evening. Has had such a hard time with all sorts of problems in the last 2 or 3 years. Holder's comfortably through to the final. The world champion follows him through in second place. What a final we've got coming up very soon.
Yeah, quite a meeting, and did say it earlier, Wolfenden sneaks in via the back door. Don't rule him out winning the final, Kel.
Oh, absolutely not. He's got speed, he just needs to get a start and he'll be a hard man to beat. Holder, of course, now must be looking good for a victory. Has ridden so well, the bike's been quick all night. Riders now, of course, have got to make their way up the top 4 for the picks, for the final. Won't have too much time, but it's been a good night for the Australians. Certainly for Doyle. Doyle started poorly, but has then bounced back in fine fashion after changing his equipment. Really has shown terrific speed. But yeah, it has been a good night of Speedway, and it's really built up as we've got to the conclusion. One big, big race to come.
Time for the draw with Steve Brandon.
Yeah, thanks, gentlemen. Yes, we're all just about ready here. We're waiting for one rider to come up, but Chris Holder, very impressive tonight, as you've said in commentary. Peter Kilderman scraped and scrapped to this. Jason Doyle had a great start, which he couldn't just finish off in semi-final 1. And the man we're waiting for at the moment is the world champion, Ty Wolfenden. I think he's making his way over shortly. But we'll wait for all to get started. Kelvin, I'll just ask you a question while we're waiting for this. Where would you go if you had first pick here?
I go off the inside, Steve. I just think that, particularly if I was Chris Holder, the bike's working so well. It's the shortest way to the first corner, and I think that's the safe bet for me.
All right, so here we go. Chris is coming up now. So you're absolutely right, Kelvin. No surprise. Chris Holder's going to go out of gate 1 in red again for the final. Peter Killerman making his way forward. No hesitation, gate 2 in blue. Jason Doyle. This is going to be an interesting choice, but he'll probably go for the outside again. Jason Doyle, gate 4. You mentioned that. He's made 3 finals. His career. He's made 3 finals in a row now, so he's doing very well. And Ty Wolfenden, again, with no choice. He's going to have gate 3 in white. So just confirmation of that lineup. Chris Holder, 2012 world champion in red. Peter Killerman in blue. Ty Wolfenden, 2-time and reigning world champion in white. And down at the bottom, Jason Doyle. 3 finals in a row for Jason Doyle. He's in gate 4 in yellow. Back to you, gentlemen.
Well, terrific lineup. Terrific lineup. What a lineup indeed. And as I say, a 50% chance for the Australians to get a winner here this evening.
I think Kilderman's going to take some stopping.
Yeah, he was very fast indeed in that opening semi-final when he was able to get the better of Jason Doyle. Good speedway here. Exciting speedway as we've come to its conclusion. You know, a few losers along the way. It's been so tough this evening, but there's no question on the evidence of the racing tonight, we are going to be in for one hell of a Grand Prix season. Packed with quality now, strength in depth, no room for error at all. Pavlicki epitomises that. One exclusion, only got 8 points, misses out, could easily have been in the semi-finals. So yeah, dramatic speedway, exciting speedway, and a very difficult final to call, but if Holder can reproduce that sort of start he did in the semi-finals, I think he'll be a tough man to beat.
Yeah, it's a real mouth-watering final lineup here in Slovenia tonight. Woffenden finished second here behind Hancock last year.
He did indeed, yeah.
But Kilderman really is a man, he's going to take some stopping. He's like a machine the way he powers through.
He just seems to, he doesn't seem to faze him, does he? You know, the bigger the race, the better he rides. And there, you know, that was shown in the semi-final number 1 where, you know, he's been a little bit up and down, as most riders have, but they got it spot on. The way the bike pulled around the inside to get the better of Doyle. I bet Doyle could not believe that Kilderman came up the inside of him on the slick, greasy part of the track. That was all credit to his team to get that spot on, and he was able to exploit that to its full potential. No, you wouldn't be surprised if Kilderman won his second Grand Prix tonight.
Very much so. Just awaiting the final bits of track preparation before we go into the final itself. And as we say, back in a couple of weeks' time in Warsaw, Stadion Narodowy, the magnificent stadium there.
What a stadium.
In Warsaw. And
Really
it was so
looking
sad how
forward
it
to it.
all went wrong last year, but...
Well, let's hope we can sort that out this time around and put that to out of the memory banks, because I think if we get a good speedway meeting in there, it'll be a fabulous occasion.
Yeah.
You know, could well be 50,000 people in there. Great atmosphere. The Poles are hugely passionate about the sport, and it could be a fabulous advert for speedway.
Yeah, big year ahead. 11 rounds of the World Championship. We're back at Horsens, where Peter Killerman won his first Grand Prix. We're back there in the middle of June as well. So we're looking forward to that one. Cardiff on July the 9th, of course. That's going to be a big night. Principality Stadium.
Interesting to go to a new venue at Teterow, just north of Berlin in Germany. It will be an interesting one to see how that one works out. Of course, we go back to Stockholm, the Friends Arena, another great venue. Finishing off in Melbourne, of course. What a venue that was at the end of last year. Terrific stuff, and a great finale to the series. But here on the opening night.
Yep, fantastic. First semi-final coming up then here. The final, I should say, on the way.
Here we go then for the big final. Peter Kilderman on screen in the blue helmet colour has been terrific. There's no question his performance in the first semi-final was terrific to get the better of Jason Doyle, who we there just saw briefly with the yellow helmet colour on. It's been a great night of speedway. All credit to all concerned here. It's been a super night, well organised, and to all intents and purposes, it's been a pretty clean, slick meeting to watch and enjoy. But a great lineup for the final.
Yep, the grand final here of the Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix in Cusco is coming right up. Here we go, the first final of the year. And what a lineup it promises to be. Chris Holder off the inside. Peter Killerman off gate 2, Ty Woffenden off 3. And off the outside in yellow is Jason Doyle. Who is going to prevail in the opening GP of the campaign? What a night it promises, what a race it promises to be on a memorable night that we've seen. Some of the riders have really got stuck in. Kilderman more so, really. He's really put it on the line. And I think he's going to take some beating here, Kel.
You could very well win another Grand Prix here this evening. His performance in the semi-final one was outstanding. Holder has been terrific. He's in the box seat for me. He's got the inside gate. He's comfortable there. No hesitation. He picked it straight away. What a lineup, and here we go.
Here we go, the grand final in Slovenia. Killerman's made a nice start from gate number 2, and Killerman has got the drop early on, but he's gone square, and my goodness, he got the bike back under control brilliantly there. Second place is Holder. Here comes Doyle now, charging up the inside. Doyle maybe will take Holder wide, but he holds the mid-line, but Kilderman has that lead from Doyle, from Holder, from Woffenden. That's how it is into lap 2.
It is indeed, but Doyle's gone wide. That allows Holder back up the inside. Doyle responds. gets himself back into second place. What a start from Peter Kilderman out of gate 2. Got himself to the front, even with the mistake in the first corner. He's hanging on out in front. He looks like he's stamping his authority on the final. He's out in front. Great battle between the Australians for second and third, but this final is Kilderman's. He's got it in the bag, Nigel.
Peter Kilderman in his only 14th Grand Prix. He's on his way to his second victory. Woffington coming through for third, but Holder shuts the door. Breathtaking battle for second, third and fourth. But let's pay tribute and hail Peter Kilderman of Denmark. Only the second win of his Grand Prix career. It's the Great Dane, Peter Kilderman!
Nigel, you called it. Dead right for you tonight. Absolutely textbook start out of gate 2. You should have had the money down, Nigel. You should have had the money down. What a start. Absolutely nailed it away from the tapes. Fired himself to the first corner. Holder just couldn't quite get the bike away from gate 1. Great scrap between Jason Doyle, Holder and Woofenden for second, third and fourth. But the night belongs to Peter Kilderman. What a record he has at Grand Prix Speedway. Terrific advert for the sport here this evening. Great Speedway throughout. All the boys have done a great job. But Peter Kilderman, that was outstanding. There's no doubt that the performance in the semi-final number 1 when he got the better of Doyle gave us an inclination that he was fast. He had the bike set up. But the final and his team, they've done a remarkable job.
Wow, what a performance. I just had that feeling, the way Kilderman was going. Race win for Kilderman and a win in the Grand Prix. Doyle second, Holder third, Woofenden at the back, but Woofenden sneaking in through the back door and still finishing on 10 points tonight. Not a bad effort and a good way to start the Defensive World Championship. Kilderman on 15 points is the winner of the Slovenian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Chris Holder, 14 points for him, and Jason Doyle on 13. We remind you, Doyle started with 1 point from 2 rides.
Yeah.
And what a bounce back from Jason Doyle.
Changed his bike and changed his fortunes. Peter Kilderman leads the World Championship after the opening round on 15 points. A great effort from him. It's been a hugely competitive night. You cannot slip up in this year's campaign with the competitiveness and how tight it is. But Peter Kilderman came good when it really mattered. The performance and the bike setup at the end of the night was absolutely spot on. We see it again here. He makes that small mistake in the first corner, but manages to keep the bike going in the right direction. The battle between Jason Doyle and Chris Holder is terrific for 4 laps, with Woofenden really getting amongst it as the race comes to its conclusion. But you can't deny the night belongs to Peter Kilderman because he rode so well. And the start, Nigel, the start from gate 2, which isn't fancied, the stats would suggest that that was the worst place to go from. He nailed it, and then he picked up his second Grand Prix win. Brilliant.
Well, Peter Kilderman was supposed to do 1 lap to celebrate. He's done 3. So we're going to hear from him very shortly. A moment of emotion for Peter Kilderman. A fantastic moment. Here's Steve Brandon.
Tonight, looking at your results, a very slow start, but 2 great races in the middle of the meeting, and really put the work in when it counted at the end.
Yeah, the bike working so good in the last one, so yeah, I'm just so happy right now.
What does this just mean to you, starting off the season, leading the championship, putting a win away?
Means everything.
You can give me a little bit more than that.
Yeah, for 2 hours, like, been working on all winter, and now I'm really feeling really good, so yeah, we just need to keep going.
And we can talk about it a little bit more in depth now. How hard is it for a rider to come here knowing you're not 100% physically right, to have to come and do it in this company against this type of field?
But yeah, like, I come here, I was not 100% fit, and my goal was just make the semis, and now I'm here, I'm just like, third place.
And we go to Warsaw next, you're going to be the target for everyone leading the championship, and must feel great.
It must, it's like, that's absolutely just amazing.
Congratulations tonight, so very well done.
Cheers, thank you.
What a night for Peter Kilderman, Nigel. Really has been a terrific performance. Not fully fit, but beware the injured Speedway rider because he leads the World Championship.
Yep, Kellerman 15, Holder 14, Doyle 13, and then a host of riders on 10. Woffenden, Hancock, Pedersen, Janowski and Limbach. Everson, Smarslik and Pavlitsky on 8 apiece. Look how bunched up it's all been. It's been that type of night where riders have dropped points left, right and centre. There's been some memorable racing as well. But the night belongs to Peter Killerman of Denmark, who is only, as we say, in his 14th Speedway Grand Prix. He's qualified for his 6th final and has won for a 2nd time in the Grand Prix. So many congratulations to Peter Killerman, a great night for him.
Oh, absolutely, fully deserved. The start in the final was just out of the top draw. Chris Holder's had a great night. Jason Doyle, after a slow start, really got himself well and truly involved. He will win a Grand Prix very soon, Jason Doyle, there's no doubt about that. Great to see Chris Holder back on the rostrum, looking really strong after some very difficult times. National anthem time for Peter Killerman.
Great moment for Peter Killerman. He'll remember that for some time. And a great start to the series. But what I find fascinating as well, Kelvin, is that we've had 1 of 11 rounds now. Nobody has pulled well clear. There's a whole bunch of riders close together after 1 round. 5 points the difference between a whole bunch of riders.
Absolutely, so riders that just missed out actually in actual fact aren't that far behind on 8 points. And so they'll be disappointed, of course, not to have gone further, but there's no doubt that they're still well and truly ensconced. Nobody's got a big march on the opposition. Doyle there has had a good night. Jason Doyle, and all credit to him. He's made 3 finals in a row now and is looking very accomplished at this level and looks comfortable, and it won't be long before he wins the Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been a good night's work for him.
Absolutely. Peter Kilderman now getting the spoils of the night. Big trophy. All the photographs being taken that will be fired around the world. No doubt that that smile will be seen on many magazines in the upcoming week. A terrific start for his Grand Prix campaign. And what a career already Peter Kilderman is enjoying at this level. It is quite remarkable. Champagne time, fully deserved. And another mention for Chris Holder. Absolutely delighted to see him riding so well. A lot of people would have suggested that his best days were behind him, but I think he has other ideas. And on the evidence of his performance tonight, I can see him pushing on and enjoying a great season.
Tremendous night for Peter Killerman, then confirmation 15 points, Chris Holder on 14, Jason Doyle 13, and then Janowski, Limbach, Woffenden, Pedersen and Hancock on 10. 5 points separate the top 8 so far in the early stages of this campaign after a great first night of Speedway. And we're looking forward to Stadion Narodowa in a couple of weeks' time. Great shots, pictures of the rostrum here. Peter Killerman, the winner. Nice to see Chris Holder back on the rostrum as well and in the final of the Grand Prix.
Absolutely.
Been through a lot, hasn't he?
He has. He's ridden really well, and he's had a really tough time on and off the track. And he's got himself back together. Looks like he's a lot fitter than he has been previously. Quite clearly, mentally, he's got himself really together and has ridden really nicely this evening. Could easily have won the Grand Prix. Peter Kilderman, of course, had other ideas. He just was too good for the opposition in the race that mattered, and rightly stands on top of the box. And I can see him doing that on 1 or 2 more occasions. It could be a major threat for this year's championship if he stays out of trouble. Super performance from him, but I'm actually very impressed with the young Poles as well. Smarslik and Pawlicki also made their presence felt earlier on this evening. And I think as an overview, I think we've got a very, very competitive lineup for this year's World Championship.
All bodes well for the series, I think, Cole.
No doubt about that. It's exciting times, and roll on Warsaw, because I think we're going to be in for a treat. That track's right. We're going to be royally entertained.
Very much so. Great city, Warsaw, as well. These riders have put on a great show for us tonight. What a night. We're back in Warsaw in a couple of weeks' time. Stadion Narodowe. Many congratulations to Peter Killerman. And also Jason Doyle second, Chris Holder third, Ty Wofferden sneaking into the final. The world champion will be fairly satisfied. Kelvin, thanks for your company, and
pleasure
we'll
as
see you in
always.
Warsaw in a couple of weeks' time. It's been a long winter since Australia in 2015, and the Gladiators of Shale all set for the opening Speedway Grand Prix of the 2016 campaign at the Matija Gubka Stadium in Krško, Slovenia. Perfect weather conditions, a sunny day, track had to be watered to keep the dust down, and there was a real battle with the two Polish boys early on, Piotr Pawlicki and Bartosz Smarslik, impressing very much indeed. One or two first corners that got a little bit tight and a little bit tense. Riders going wheel to wheel on one of the biggest circuits on the Grand Prix scene as well. It was super fast. Chris Holder back in the big time, riding beautifully. Nicky Pedersen, 3 times world champion, in the thick of the action as well. And a highlight as well for the home youngster, Nick Squire, the reserve. He got his first ever Grand Prix point. Crowd were enjoying the action. All the riders really getting stuck in early on, but nobody was pulling clear. Peter Killerman with a stunning move down the back straight brought the crowd to their feet. But there were points being dropped left, right and centre, and this incident saw the Slovenian Mati Zegar excluded for causing Nicky Pedersen to fall. Pedersen was okay, was able to get up and walk away and take his place in the rerun. Jason Doyle, the world number 5, started with only 1 point from 2 rides, but he came good in the end. He went on a run of victories, he picked up points and was able to progress to the latter stages and put in a real challenge. It was like a bucking bronco on occasions. Antonio Limbach back in the Grand Prix series and riding well. Very impressive indeed. The youngsters, Smarslik and Pawlicki, again throwing the bike at each other. It went to a countdown for the semi-finals, and reigning champ Wofferden, Ty Wofferden, just about got in there on 8 points. The story of the semi-finals, Peter Killerman winning the first one just ahead of Jason Doyle. In the second semi-final, Chris Holder came home, and in the grand final, it's a second Grand Prix win in the career of Peter Killerman, who finishes on 15 points. Doyle finished second in the final, Chris Holder third. We move on to Warsaw in a couple of weeks. Okay, podcast.
Ja, serija se torej že čez 14 dni seli v prestolnico Poljske na nacionalni stadion v Varšavo, kjer se pričakuje okoli 50.000 ljudi, pravi spektakel. Upajmo seveda, da bo v letošnji sezoni uspelo odvoziti več kot tistih 12 voženj. Sem prepričan, da se bodo organizatorji še posebej potrudili, da bo temu tako. Vsak hip sedaj pa prvi intervjuji pred novinarji v boksih najboljših 3.
Are we doing this? Right. What are we doing?
through to your ribs, you've picked yourself up, and you've got to a Grand Prix in great company and finished a great job tonight.
Absolutely, the plan was not to win the final really tonight here, or even make it on just even points, and yeah, we get in the right direction, and the bike was quick, and yeah, we made it.
Thank you. We'll come back to you in a minute. If you can pass the microphone over to Jason. Jason, your third Grand Prix final, but very importantly, your third one in a row. You really started to mix it this level now.
Yeah, after my first two heats, I didn't think I was even going to make the semis. It was really struggled, and I was just trying to just get some points, and yeah, just started flowing a little bit. Swapped my bikes to Fleming, good engine, and just started going again. So I was very happy.
Cheeky question: after your second ride, you were probably wondering how tonight was going to finish. 1 point from 2 rides.
Yeah, I thought I was going to go back to the van, have a bit of a cry, but yeah, it all worked out good. And yeah, with that speedway, 1 minute you're down, the next minute you're in the final, and then get a second. Sometimes you move.
Good job tonight. Thank you very much. Chris Holder, a man who I know put a lot of work in the winter and did some soul searching. For you to come here, first Grand Prix of the season, put yourself in a final, put some good points on the board. Pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy. You know, at the end of the day, just wanted to get a lot of points, and to make a final is always good, and to be on the podium is good. You know, all these boys, they're really good riders, and me was on it tonight, just like everyone else, and yeah, a lot of points. I'm happy with it, and it's working good.
I know it's a long season for all the riders, but to come to the first round and make a statement about your own form, that must be a lot of pleasure for you.
For sure. You'd rather be on top than chasing, being behind and chasing the boys. So to leave here some good points in the top, top 5 or whatever, it feels good, and I'm looking forward to the next one already, and hopefully keep doing that.
2 weeks more, so we'll just hang back to Peter for a moment. Peter, the accolades for you, but leading the World Championship after 1 round, a great result, and obviously where you would like to have been when you got here this morning.
Yeah, absolutely, but again, it's early days of the season, and it's long, but yeah, we'll try to keep it going and see how it goes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Just take a pause there for a minute. Peter, a few words from you in Danish. Just what does it mean in Danish to you?
Det var sige, tusind tak for at støtte alle fans, alle dem skolen, der støtter mig i dag, det er fedt. Så jeg håber, I ser næste gang.
Thank you, gentlemen. That concludes the official press conference of the 2016 Slovenian FI and Speedway Grand Prix.
Yep. Yes. Ah. Right, that's it then. Right, that's it. Not a good night technically then. Do you want a beer?
Very much. See you. Thank you.
Spoštovani in spoštovane, pravkar sem dobil informacijo iz boksa, da intervju še traja, no sedaj pa so začeli ugašati luči, tako da, kot kaže, je vse pripravljeno na veliki ognjemet. Dajmo, fantje!